All right, yo, 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 it's your boy Yoshikidneo, and we are back in the world of Boridil. Oh, am I actually being heard? I don't know if I'm being heard. Yeah, I'm being heard. But for some reason, you guys aren't hearing my music, which is slightly disturbing. Very, very strange. Anyway, I'll try to get that figured out while I'm doing stuff. Yeah. Today should be fun. The party is going to have to figure out how to get how to get back Starden, who died last session, if that's even possible. Because with the death rules that I'm using, you have to do a roll based on whatever spell is being used, and because they don't have the resources required to do any high level stuff, they have to use the lowest level. So if he rolls poorly, there's no chance for his soul to come back. So we'll see what happens. It should be fun.
Like, I think he does that with everybody. He doesn't explain anything to anybody. He just first he acts like he doesn't want to do it. Then when he does it, and then he just does other stuff. He basically doesn't know why bad things happen, but he doesn't want to explain to help it get better.
Yeah. That cliche main character.
Man, it's worse than anything I've seen.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. It makes me hate superheroes that's what I was saying when I texted y'all. Like, I would purposely be a villain in there just to fight.
They do not shy away from the gore. I
love it.
Yeah, that's what I love, bro. When they did
that first episode with the girlfriend, I was like, oh
yeah. When I saw the blood, I was like, oh, maybe she got hit by a bullet. But then, he was just holding her arms. I was like, oh my god. And then A-Train, I equally don't like all of them. Like, they're just all bad.
I'm kind of rooting for the villains.
And they're probably gonna make that season 2 because I think so. You'll just keep watching, but it gets good. I think that's gonna come season 2. Just look how good they did, and they didn't even have villains for real. I thought the way it was gonna go at first, I thought Huey was gonna get powers really early or something, and then go after them,
or become some type of makeshift Lex Luthor or something.
Yeah.
Well, I think in the comic he does eventually get powers.
Oh, it's based on the comic? I kind of want to read the comic now.
Yeah, I kind of want to read it.
It's like either
you guys
novel or comic.
Real quick, do you guys hear yourself whenever you talk?
No.
I haven't
Not through mine. What about, all right, and you do hear, you don't hear yourself through my mic is what I'm asking.
No.
No.
Yeah, I hear
the help.
It takes a while, though.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
What about, did you hear that help?
Yes.
I did.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I think I got it fixed.
So who do y'all think will win in a fight? The Watchmen or them or whatever their name?
Probably the Watchmen, just because they don't have nobody can stop that one. Blue dude.
I don't know, man. Mr. Manhattan, dog.
Mr. Watchmen will win. Mr. Manhattan is like.
Now you got it?
Homelander. Oh, now I hear it. Now it's good.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know.
What? It's easy. There's nobody can stop Dr. Manhattan. Superman can't even really beat Dr. Manhattan.
Ozzy
Both teams are pretty messed up, though.
Yeah, but I think the whatever the name of the team is in The Boys is a lot worse than the Watch.
Well, they just don't
deep, bro. I don't even
take. But look, see, the Watchmen don't take money. They're doing it to actually help people. It's I understand, you got to make a living, but what about honest heroes like Spider-Man? He does that.
That's what I'm
puts
saying.
His life on the line, and he literally just works the daily.
All right, Kyle. I guess real quick, since you're here, you can help me with my audio issues. So you hear that help, right? Okay, so you hear that, but you don't, I assume you don't hear any music right now, right? Is it just silence and me talking? Alright, that's where my issue is. I don't know why that happened, because it was working earlier. It's my virtual cable. Maybe that's why. Because my virtual cable should be going to this. Actually, I don't have that. Alright, I'm going to try switching something. Hopefully it doesn't ruin it. Do you hear music now? Alright. That's what happened. Alright, and then... Did you hear the help? No. Huh. So that's what the issue is then. Maybe if I put it to the input, and then I can hear it. Yeah, that's fine. Hopefully I didn't mess it. How about now? Did you hear the help? Okay, cool. And you hear the music. And then I'm about to unmute these folks. Tell me if you hear them. Alright, they were talking about blowjobs for some reason. You didn't hear them. Interesting, because you should be able to, because it's being... My virtual cable grabs my Discord and puts it to my voice meter, which is what I have my desktop audio going through. So it should, essentially, it should put it... It's very weird. Voice meter input be VIO. Yeah. Maybe I just, I think I know what I'll do. I'll add an extra mixer. And then when I add that mixer, that other sound, I'll just make it to where audio input capture, I think is built in a USB. No, audio output, desktop audio. Discord. And then if I do the virtual cable. Alright, so now it should work.
Like he still would, you know, he still would like try to save people and cared, but like at the very beginning of the show,
he killed that kid and that dude. Like
when?
Just shot the plane down. Remember at the beginning?
Yeah, but that was in the later episodes.
No, that was like episode 2 when he did that.
What he did? What again? I mean, I gotta go back and look.
Nah, when he
Nah, he's always been messed up.
Yeah, that the mayor
he only
from
does
Baltimore.
things for himself.
Yeah, the mayor of
I feel
Baltimore
like he was already on
talking
a
to
fall. I guess he was on a fall like before the show started then, and he was just
I think so too.
Worse. I think he was in a bit. He could have
You
lifted
guys
that.
hear the help when I play it?
I was before, but I do not
Did
now.
you just play it?
I did, yeah. So
Nope.
interesting. Interesting indeed. Well, regardless, I don't think I need any of these voice or these little sound clips. I don't need them. It just makes it more fun. I'll figure it out later. I don't want to mess anything up and get pissed off again. So, let me say bye to Ingrid real quick. Yeah, and I'll be right back.
Bye, Ingrid!
Bro, while he's doing that, I'm gonna finish watching this episode real quick.
There he is.
Great day. I'll see you after y'all get back.
This show kind of reminds me of like, what was that movie? Chronicle? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what movie.
I know what you're talking about. I never saw that though.
Was that the name of it?
That's when I started to kind of like Michael B. Jordan more as an actor after Chronicle.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
Hello.
Hi. Are you off to work?
No, they're off to Costco.
Oh, I love Costco.
I like their food.
Yeah, I think Jeff said he likes.
Your sister
Costco
said she
too.
loves Costco, and to have fun. Yeah, Dallas, if you want to do that, update your character sheet, and then after this, you're stuck with it, just so you're aware.
Yeah, I did. I enjoyed the last few, but it just felt slightly. I think this is more towards my character, but I did enjoy it. Give me a
just because we're in the middle, I wish you would do this way before the session. It would help me, and if I read over it later and it's broken, I'll switch you back.
Okay.
All
it's
right.
on the
Other than
website,
that,
the official one. Where's my character sheet?
Okay.
Como esta? Pull up.
All right, so we'll go ahead and get this recap underway.
Is everybody here?
Yeah. Y'all were talking about blowjobs or something. That's the last thing I heard from Gerald before I muted myself. So Gerald, I don't know what you're into, but you know, that's cool. You do you, man.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. So the last time we left our heroes, you guys had were working on the Ankeg contract, which was to go to the farms towards the west of the city of Guilds and figure out and exterminate the Ankegs as they seem to be burrowing in that location. From what you guys were aware of, it was more of them trying to make their hive more accessible to this location. Maybe just building up more, which shows that they are currently expanding, which led the City of Guilds to be a little uneasy about it because as far as they could tell, the Ankegs were not one for negotiations. They were creatures of instinct and of little intelligence. But what you guys realized is that is not all true. You don't know the extent to how these creatures came to be able to sort of devise their own tactics and such like that, but they did. You guys had delved through this underground spring that you had found, and inside of it you found a bunch of normal Ankegs, as well as some sort of arcane mutated Ankeg that was able to speak to you guys via your mind. So you realize that maybe this creature is the reason why these Ankegs are a little bit smarter. But after it messing with you guys a little bit, you guys had slid off its... Well, no, you didn't slice off its head until afterwards, but you had felled the beast. But in doing so, you angered something even more large than itself. And this huge hulking Ankeg had come burrowing through right in front of Alfric and proceeded to bite him to the point of unconsciousness. He then threw him into the water below, which Cyrene was able to jump in and essentially save him after a few moments. The large Ankeg ended up doing the same sort of tactic and was able to pop out behind Starden, since he was the only one that was left alone, and proceeded to do the exact same thing. Except for this time he took him with him underground and went further into the cavern, where you guys heard a large crunch. It was at that moment that you guys were under the assumption he was being eaten alive, and you were kind of correct about that, to an extent anyway. But as the Ankeg started burrowing, you guys saw its little trail and started to follow it, and as Alfric and Cyrene had gotten out of that little underground lake, quote unquote, maybe a pond is a better word for it. It had come back and tried to finish the job of Alfric, but was unsuccessful this time. You guys were able to defeat the beast, and it went tumbling off of the 30-foot cliff into the underground spring and had been swept away. As you guys were sort of exploring the rest of the cavern, you found the body of a female with very pale skin and sort of blank eyes. And the weird thing about this is that it was wearing, or she was wearing, the same exact clothing that Starden was wearing. But you guys did not see any similarities with the physical form. You guys are assuming that this is Starden somehow, and you know that sometimes his magic makes weird effects, so maybe somehow he had cast a spell and it changed what he looked like, but what she looked like now. So you guys gathered the body, and you also cut off the head of the green Ankeg to bring back with you, and you proceeded to head back to the City of Guilds. As you guys exited the chamber, or the little underground cavern, you did notice that there was a large black plume of smoke that was filling the air coming from the south. Alfric said he didn't feel comfortable heading that way for now, and it would probably be best to recoup at the City of Guilds first and then go and investigate later. Plus, you guys wanted to try to bring your friend back. So, you headed back to town. And once you got to a certain portion of the town, which I will bring everyone to the City of Guilds. Now, question, Martin, did it bring you to the City of Guilds? Or are you still on the title page?
I'm still on the title page.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, you gotta put it in the banner. Oh, cool. Thanks, Kyle. Alright, I got it figured out now. I am the better DM now because of that. Maybe.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. So you guys got to the City of Guilds, coming in from the west area. And as you guys were going through this location called the Highbrow, which this is where a lot of the students of the other various guilds throughout the city live, a body was thrown on top of your cart, making a large bulge in the sort of cloth covering of your cart. You guys had pulled over to investigate what this was, and upon looking at it, you noticed that this was one of the gentlemen that you guys had saved from the slaver's ship. And when I say you guys saved, Cyrene saved them from drowning. But the curious thing is that they had a letter in their pocket that was very visible, and it had that symbol. It had that symbol of a organization that you guys have come to know as the Black Hand. And it stated that you guys owed them 500 gold. You were to leave it in your guild hall unattended. Otherwise things would get worse for you guys from them. You took it with a grain of salt, as you had other things you needed to do, and you headed towards the Mass Morass, which is where a lot of the temples to various gods are, hoping to find a way to resurrect your friend Starden. As you came to one of the more known temples, you walked up the staircase, and as you walked inside, and it's the temple itself is kind of like, you know, stone pillars, all that, and, you know, old style cathedral aesthetic, and it's all open aired. As you walked in, you see two people on the far side of the pews that look like they're in a heated argument. You see this gentleman, maybe. You see this gentleman right here. Who looks like he's part of the clergy, the way he's dressed, and then you see this woman right here.
Okay.
So as you guys are walking up with Starden's body, you hear them sort of bickering back and forth to each other. The woman keeps saying stuff about the world is going to end soon. I don't know why you think I'm crazy, but you need to do something about it, like plead to your gods. And the gentleman's like, you are crazy. You're just a drug addict. There's nothing about the world ending anytime soon. So if you could, I have to attend to these folks, as he points towards you guys. She looks your way, and you can see tears streaming down her face, and she just runs past you guys without looking at you anymore. And then the gentleman kind of shakes his head and scratches the top of his head. And then as you guys approach, sorry you had to see all of that. She comes every now and then, spreading tales of woe. Apparently the world's gonna end, and it's something different every time that she's incorrect. Regardless, how may I be of service? Do you need a burial? And he points to Starden's body.
We need a resurrection.
Yeah, hoping for the opposite of a burial.
A resurrection. He looks around. Well, I do, I guess, have the powers to give it a try. Are you aware of how resurrection works?
No.
Yes.
Run it by us.
No?
There's a few things worth noting. You can put the body over there, and he points to the altar at the end. First of all, resurrection is never guaranteed. There is no 100% way to bring somebody back from the dead, especially after more time has passed. That being said, it is also quite an expensive endeavor for the materials required to cast the spell, as well as the energy that I must place into the spell itself, take quite a toll. I am only capable of sort of minor resurrection magic. If you wanted something a lot more powerful, I unfortunately have no answers for where you could find that. There are other clergy, other temples around the world, but I am distant from them. They might be better suited to help you, but this is the best I can do for you and for the city. Now, in terms of cost, the diamonds that are required to cast the spell are a flat fee of 500 gold, and then there's a extra charge of 250 gold for my services, as I cannot do this all the time. I can only do a limited amount every week or so. That being said, it's a grand total of 750 gold to attempt to bring your friend back. If it doesn't work for whatever reason, unfortunately there are no refunds.
I see.
I'm
One
gonna
moment. Let's
check
have
how
a
much
group
money's
discussion.
on. How much money's on Starden's corpse?
Starden.
Yeah, let's go rummaging through them pockets.
Yeah, I was literally.
He
gonna
has
say the
700
exact same
gold.
thing.
Oh my god,
That's-
you guys.
That's exactly what we need.
No.
Wow, the creature beat the shit out of you and took your money too. I don't know what happened.
We all need to contribute. I can do like 100 gold.
I contributed by bringing his body.
Well, I think we only need 50 gold, right? Is it 750 gold from total?
Don't take all of his money if this works.
He wants to live.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it works,
He's dead.
Yeah.
I mean, we saved.
You can't put a price on being brought back to life.
We'll see.
Oh my
Except,
God.
except the
Yeah.
price that he's putting on us right now.
Exactly.
Worse.
How dare he put us in this situation even when he's dead?
Okay.
I will pay 200 gold.
Okay, good. 'cause
I don't have that kind of gold to pay right now anyway.
Yeah, I got a car note
Okay,
payment
so-
coming up.
Or what we could do, and this is just an idea. We have yet to get paid yet from my other job that we've already done. So we could use this. If this works, we'll give him the money from that. If it doesn't, then we'll
it
just
out.
distribute the money because he's dead. He won't need it.
Zyron, we only need 50 gold.
I'll still pay
This
200
gentleman,
gold.
the gentleman scratches his head. He is actually a she. I don't know if you understand, humanoid physiology, but
Strange.
Something happened.
Yeah, it's a long story.
This
Yeah,
used to be a
was
guy.
a man before the court.
That is weird, yes.
Are you familiar with wild magic?
He looks at you with a blank stare.
Okay, never mind. I take the 700 gold off the body, and I ask Irene for the remaining gold, and just gonna hand it the 750 to the priest, and the 150 back to Irene.
No, I told you I'd pay 200.
Okay, then I will hold on to the 150 gold and give it back to you at a later time.
Okay. What? No?
What?
Just take 550 from him, and I'll subtract 200 from mine.
Okay. Martin, you can do that for your character sheet for me, please. And then he'll still have 150 left on Starden. For now. Okay, so as you guys pay him, he tells you, just give me probably 10 minutes to prepare. It is quite the long ritual. If you wish to stay for the whole time, you may, but it takes roughly an hour of time until it's complete. So if you have any other errands that you would like to do, you may, and then come back, and hopefully your friend will be standing here with you. If not, do you want me to proceed with burial rites, or do you need to say your goodbyes?
We'll be around.
Yeah, Zuko wants to stay to see.
I'll stay. Is there anything we can do to assist you to make this process easier?
Unless you have divine magics, no. And judging by the lot of you, none of you have any sort of divine magics. And he looks specifically in Ryu. You're a curious case, but I don't sense any magical prowess from you at all. But I do get a sense of divine energies.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Well, I will begin in about 10 minutes. If you could, since you're going to stay, and he approaches you, Zuka, go ahead and wash the body, at least all the exposed portions of the skin. And he hands you a damp cloth and a sort of like golden, like, not really like a bowl. And then he proceeds to walk towards the back area of the church. And then he opens the door and closes it to where he's out of sight.
Brady, how many of my bones are still broken from the me being thrown and bitten?
I mean, you've got some like broken ribs for sure, but it doesn't impede you in any way.
Can I find someone in the building to assist healing me?
Sure. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
So Zuka's gonna like take that water. You said there was water in that bowl.
Correct.
Okay, so I'm gonna take that water and use my trunk and suck it up, and then like kind of pressure wash the body.
Okay. So yeah, you remove all the gunk from Starden's corpse. Any dirt, any blood, anything. It's a relatively clean but damp body. All the clothes are soaked at this point, but you did exactly what the priest had wanted you to do. As for Alfric, you look around and there's not many people in here right now. This is kind of this isn't the time for sermons and stuff like that. As you, in your 3 years, you would know that there are certain times of day that people gather in order to pray and stuff like that. So looking around in this particular temple, you don't see anything, but you walk outside and you do see sort of like a little pop-up tent with a few folks that are wearing plain white robes, and it looks like they've got these medicine kits, and they're currently tending to wounded commoners. And as you're looking at them a little bit closer, these commoners seem like they're probably the folks that live in the worst part of towns. So people that live in the smoldering, people that live in dog shit, the trench, those places. People are coming over. And you do see the symbol of a god. Go ahead and roll me a religion check. Okay. And you know this symbol, it's the symbol, it's like a little sun. It's kind of just a basic one that these guys have. But you know that this is the god of Pelor, god of the sun, god of healing. This is the symbol that these gentlemen have sort of crested on their robes, sort of like right above where their heart is. But yeah, they seem to be tending to the wounded.
I approach and see if there is a moment where I could interject and ask for some healing.
Okay. So, like, as they're helping people, you kind of just stand there looking around, seeing what's going on, and then one of them that's not currently helping anyone approaches you. Yeah, so you injured? Do you need help? We are the Sons of Pelor, and we offer medical assistance where we can.
Hello, yes. I just got back from an adventure, and I was attacked by a creature, and I believe I have a few broken bones, ribs. I was wondering if you could assist me.
He starts moving his hands towards you, and then he kind of rears back a little bit. He's like, may I?
Go for it.
And he starts poking on your ribs, and it's sharp pains that jolt up through your chest as he's doing this. He's like, yep, there's definitely broken bones. Can we get a chest x-ray? And also kidding, he doesn't say that. But he goes, unfortunately, there's nothing you can really do except for rest and allow them to heal. Luckily, though, you should still be quite mobile. It doesn't seem like they're broken enough to where you need to be worried about your positioning or your breathing. We could give you some herbal remedies that you could take when the pain gets too great, and it should soothe the pain. It won't get rid of it completely, but it could help.
Oh, yes. Please.
Okay, so he heads to one of the, he's got like a little apothecary station, and he grabs a little vial of sort of like this bluish liquid. And think of like an Advil bottle, like the smallest one you can think of, and that's about the size of this thing with a little cork on it. He says, it only requires a few drops, and this is a good supply. Should be good for another 10 days before it's deemed useless. By the end of that time, all your pain should be relatively gone. Depending on if you get hit there again, it might shoot up, but other than that, you should be perfectly fine.
I throw him 5 gold.
Oh, well, thank you. We typically do these services for charity, but donations are always welcome and allow us to help heal those that are less fortunate. Very much appreciated, and he sort of gives you a bow.
Thank you. And I want to look around at the commoners that are getting assistance from these priests. Are they around too, you said?
Yeah, there's a couple commoners that are getting, and there's kind of like a little line, and you notice that then there's another line beyond that, and there's these other this is another tent, but this one has a bunch of cooking stations, and they have a golden ladle symbol on their tent, and it looks like they're currently feeding people.
How many of these commoners look grungy and dirty?
All of them.
I'm gonna start casting prestidigitation on all of them to make them clean.
Okay, so to make all these people clean will probably take you about 10 minutes or so. There's a lot of them, even though, yeah, there's quite a few of them. But by the time you're done with it, that cleric will be back from getting prepared for Starden's resurrection.
I also want to make a few of them smell nice.
Okay, for a little a minute, some of them smell like lilacs and elderberries, very fruity scent, and it kind of brings a smile to their faces as you're doing this. Some of them are kind of like, "What the hell are you doing?" And then you show them, and they're like, "Oh wow, I haven't bathed in years, and this is the best I've ever smelt." You can definitely tell there are some people in this world that are just not good off at all.
I nod my head and I shamble off towards the resurrection spot.
Okay. During that 10 minutes, is anyone else doing anything, or are you guys just waiting for the cleric to come back and watching Zuka power hose the shit out of Starden?
Well,
Yeah.
How far was the armor smith from here?
That would take you way more than... Yeah. It would take you more than 10 minutes to get there, as it's about... You gotta go here. Oh man, why can't... Wow. My Roll20 is being glitchy, so I'm gonna restart it real fast. It won't let me continue with my ruler. But I think it'll honestly take you about half an hour to get to where the armor smith is via carriage. So if you wanted to go there, you could.
Yeah, I'm just gonna grab something there and then come back. That'll be gone for like an hour, hour 10 maybe.
Okay. Yeah, if you were just gonna buy some stuff, then should be buyable. Were you going to do something specific?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna buy something quick and then be back.
Okay, yeah, just send me a message of what you were gonna buy. I'll let you know how much gold it is, and then we'll continue. And if everyone else is just waiting for the priest, he does come back after probably about 12 minutes or so. But he approaches and he's got a little sack that you can hear some things jumbling around in them. He places it onto the altar, and he's got this sort of ceremonial, like, I guess, scarf around his shoulders. Now, like I said, this will take me roughly an hour to do. It would be best if you try to keep it quiet, so I don't mess anything up. But during this hour, I would seek prayer. I would try to pray to your gods to help guide the soul back to his body. Sometimes it helps, other times it lets other things come into contact with the soul. So it's a hit and miss, really. And he takes various sizes of diamonds out of this sack and starts placing them in locations around the body. Think of like how like those chakra points on the body and those little manuals and stuff, and like ancient Chinese and Japanese literature and stuff like that. He sort of places them everywhere on those. So like the hands, the heart, the stomach, the legs, the head. And then he starts going into a chant. And during this chant, Starden, your eyes open up, and all you see around you is pure black. At your feet, you see this rolling mist. And as you kind of move around and kick at it, it moves away, but inevitably comes back. You don't see any solid ground, but you're definitely standing on, some sort of invisible force. And as you're looking around, it feels like you can see miles, but it's all pitch black. And then there's a voice.
Stop. Welcome to my domain.
And with probably just like a split second, all of a sudden there's this large desk sitting in front of you that towers probably 30 to 50 feet tall. And above it, you see this very, very large humanoid figure with a sort of white glow around them, and their eyes, you can't actually see their eyes, but they're just pure white.
Do you understand where you are?
Question, Brady. Do I look like started now, or?
For now, you do, yes.
No?
Well, let me jog your memory.
And as he wave his hand, you start to get visions of what had just transpired as you were killed in the underground cavern by that very large Ankeg.
And real quick, do you wish to proceed forth in this form or your true form?
I caught about half of that.
Oh. He asked if you want to be seen in this form or your true form.
I guess it doesn't really matter if I'm dead.
True, but from what I can see in your future, it seems your friends are desperately trying to bring you back. Regardless, I am Helenvor, the goddess or the god of judgments. And even though your friends are attempting your resurrection, it's not 100%. Should it fail, I will judge you and send you to your new home.
And as he does that, he waves his hand, and you see this sort of staff with two globes of fire. One of them is blue, one of them is red.
Why is it that you hide your true identity from those that care about you?
I mean, do they care about me though?
I would think that they do, seeing as they are trying to bring you back.
I'm not sure what you said. You are.
Well, that's a
fact,
yeah. Okay, well, I guess I'll just have to wing it then. I don't know why that voice does that. That is unfortunate. He asked, or he said that obviously they do. They're trying to bring you back as we speak.
Well, that's nice of them, I guess.
Very much so. But your past, and as he says that, there's this tome that you can see him flipping through the pages. It does seem as if you've used this innate ability to go around making your life a little simpler, and sometimes you hurt those in the process, but sometimes you can help people a great deal get out of troubling situations. You do seem to walk a somewhat neutral path, although it is chaotic as sorts. Tell me, do you worship any particular gods?
I've always been a fan of the Traveler.
And I'm sure he's a large fan of you. He's always causing trouble and mischief, but it is quite humorous to watch from this side of things. Should your friends fail, I will send you his way. And with that, he closes the book. It would seem that your time has come. Farewell, Starden. Or, well, you know your real name. And with that, he sort of starts to fade, and then he vanishes. And then from this moment, you start to look around, and you can see the smoke clouds start to swirl around you. And as it starts to swirl, you get this sense that your soul is being drawn back to your body. But all of a sudden, it gets painful. You start to clench at your heart, and it gets more and more painful. With every second that goes by, you scream out at the top of your lungs before finally you go silent, and the darkness takes back, and your existence fades forever. As you guys are watching the cleric finish his ritual as the hour comes to the end, you guys see sort of this light start to shine from the diamonds, and the cleric is... Dallas, your mic just started queuing, and it's really loud. There we go. So the diamonds start to flicker in and out, and the cleric continues, and you see a ghostly visage of Starden. You see it as his male form, and then you watch as he sort of moves his hand across his face. Dallas is doing it again. If you could mute yourself,
what does it
please.
sound like?
It sounds like ass.
What do you
Just
like?
mute
Just
yourself.
like a bat?
I'll do it for you then. Alright, anyway, he moves his hand across his face, and it changes to the body that you see before you. And it's the body of a little girl, and she kind of smiles at you, and then you watch it fade. And then you notice that all the diamonds shatter. And the cleric finishes, and he opens up his eyes and looks... I am truly sorry. It seems that it did not work.
Well, that's...
Hey Dallas, put push to talk on, or I'll mute you. Because all I hear your TV, I hear you moving around, I hear everything. Thank you. The cleric then looks up and says, well, because of this, we will do our burial service for free unless you wish to bury the body yourself. I do not know if he had a specific, and then he looks down, or she had a specific way that she wanted to be dealt with. But the choice is yours.
I don't think that ever was brought up or discussed. We'll have to inform the guild of this, so I guess make the preparations, and I'm sure it'll be in the upcoming day or so, correct?
Oh, well, we could do it as quickly as now. The Church of the Silence are always ready. Many peacekeepers come and go, and this is just how it is in your line of work, unfortunately. Luckily, if you wish to pay your respects to your friend's grave, we can show you the way to their crypt in the future. But for now, these services are paid for by the Peacekeepers Guild.
I say for now, just start the process, and then we'll come back to you. We'll be back in a few hours. We'll go tell the guild, inform them what happened. Then
very well. And with that, he starts to remove the dust. As you notice, the diamonds, when they did explode, they sort of turned into like sand. So he starts to wipe the body of the sand, and with that, two hooded figures come from the back, and they're wearing sort of like this very dull gray and dull green robes, and they're wearing these plain masks on their face that, for you guys to know what they look like, they kind of make their face look like Kelemvor in a way, without the shining eyes. So they walk over and they both pick up the body and they start to head towards the back of the temple.
Well, I looked at everyone else and say, this is certainly sad, but we have to keep moving. Let's go inform the guild about this.
Okay.
Okay. So Lacan, once you guys start moving outside of the temple, he ends up meeting with you guys. You notice that he's purchased a smaller shield. If you want to roleplay telling him what happened, you may.
Hey, Lacan.
Zuka just walks up to Lacan, puts his hand on his shoulder, shakes his head. He didn't make it, or she didn't make it. I don't know at this point.
I don't know what to say. Hopefully they find peace in the afterlife.
We did see an image when they're doing the ritual. It was of a little girl, and they were looking at us, I think smiling. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be Starden, or whoever the other girl was.
Well, if I had to take a guess, it sounds like since Starden was capable of magic, maybe Starden didn't want us to know her real form.
Maybe. Everyone has their secrets.
We'll never know, though.
Yeah. Well, the funeral procession is being moved along. I guess we should inform the guild what happened as well. And I'm gonna go off and look for I forget the guy's name, to be honest.
Saris?
Yes, I'll look for Saris.
Okay. So as you guys walk into your guild hall, you do get to your normal location where you kind of hang out, and you do see Saris there with another gentleman, and they're looking at your contract board. Saris is currently posting parchments on there and sticking them in with a sort of like a little thumbtack thing, whatever they had back in medieval times, and he's talking to this gentleman. So now that you've now that you've graduated, I think you'll be a good fit for this group. Do you not think so? Is it Mirden?
Yes.
Okay. Ah, here they are now. Your group. This is Alfric, Lacan, Cyrene, and Ryu, Zuka, and is Starden still outside?
We've actually come to talk to you about that.
Zuka again walks up to Saris, puts his hand on the shoulder, and then he just lets out a big noise through his trunk, and then walks to the kitchen.
Oh.
Yeah.
That is quite upsetting. Starden had so much potential from what his teacher was saying. My condolences to you all. I have to admit I haven't been able to get to know a great deal of you personally, as this is more of a working relationship, but I do plan to change that whenever you are all in town. Until then, you have completed your contract, I assume. Is that why he is no longer with us?
I pull out the sack with the head and I undo it and hold it up. We finished the Onkeg contract, and this was the creature that was leading the Onkegs. It seemed to have a more intelligent, I guess, aspect to it, and it was controlling the other ones around it, trying to forge a new nest or burrow a new nest. And
interesting.
One of the larger ones almost killed me. and I ended up doing it started.
So they were more intelligent than we had anticipated, and it does seem that by whatever means they've used, you said they are able to telepathically communicate with you and cast magics then?
I didn't, but I was about to.
Well,
okay.
This particular one.
This one did.
Not all of them, but this one did.
I
Strange.
hand him. I'm not sure if the guild would want this, and I offer him the head.
Yes. I'm sure maybe we could have someone study it and figure out if this is some sort of ANKEG mutation or some mad experiment by another wizardry force. This definitely will help us with our further investigation of the ANKEG hive to the northwest. I do believe this would also set aside a bonus for you all, and he reaches into his pocket and grabs a coin sack, and he grabs a second coin sack, and he tosses it onto the table. There's your reward for this contract. I'll see to it that this is archived as complete. You can all add 150 gold to your character sheets. There is also enough in there for Staden's cut, so if you want to all distribute that, or sorry, this, and he points to this gentleman that's standing next to him. This is your new compatriot, Mirden. He just graduated a few days ago. He was a little delayed for some reason during his school process. He disappeared. It's very strange, but he's here now. Anyway, hopefully you all get acquainted. You can give Stalin's cut to him or distribute it freely as you will. But regardless, let me go ahead and archive this. I'll give you all a few moments, and then I need to talk to you about the Gnolls.
Alright. Oh, and Brady, did we come back in between the ogre?
Yeah, y'all came back. Y'all should have gotten that gold already.
Yeah, okay. I just was double checking.
How much was that? Because I don't think I was here for that.
Yeah. No,
you definitely weren't here, Kirsten, and the ogres. For that contract, you got 110 gold.
Okay.
I'll go up to Mirden and shake his hand. Say, welcome to the group.
Greetings. Yeah, that bit about disappearing was rather strange for me. How are you, other than your friend apparently dying, how are you guys doing?
Got about 4 or 5 broken ribs, but other than
Not
that,
great.
pretty good.
Do you remember what happened while you were gone?
I would rather not talk about it. If it's all the same to you.
Yeah.
Maybe later.
I would like to hear about it.
There'll be time in the future.
Perhaps over dinner or tea.
That sounds good. I actually got some of this herbal remedy here to help soothe pain. We can try it out later.
Well, good.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mirden, what can you do?
I'm I'm a bit of a spellcaster myself.
Oh, same here. And I prestidigitate a little sparks, coming from my fingers.
Mirrodin will prestidigitation the particle effect of petals falling behind him.
Oh, there you go. You know that one too.
Additionally, I can be helpful in other ways.
Okay.
You there, armored person. You like charging into the fray, don't you?
That's what I'm good at.
Excellent. Are you willing?
That depends. Willing for what?
Just a show of something that I can do to possibly help you out.
Very well. Go ahead.
Mirrodin will touch Lacan and use his thing to warp him 30 feet in this direction.
Okay. So Mirrodin reaches out and he grasps your shoulder, and you see his eyes kind of spark with this sort of greenish color. And then you all of a sudden pop out on the stage, and you look back, and Mirrodin, he retracts his arm, puts it back by his side, looks at you, and he
waves.
smiles. He smiles and waves.
Smile and wave, boys.
Can y'all see, like, as I spin it, or only when I let go?
You're
only when you let go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Whoa.
Huh. Interesting.
Yep. It's quite useful. Sometimes. So, what are you all about?
Well, I'm a wizard. I mainly do slows and webs and things like that. More of a utility caster myself.
Okay. As I understand it, dealing in unicorn dust is quite illegal.
You could say that.
Is that what they gave you, Alfric?
I don't know about that. I haven't tried it yet myself, but we'll find out.
Oh my god.
What about you, Merfolk?
Well, you're the
Alright, thanks King Lucas for the follow.
these weirdos. My tail the first time they all flipped out, but I'm a druid.
Okay.
And also Argus Lung, thank you for the follow as well.
Straightforward. You there, the one with the long appendage.
Is Zuka AFK? We're just being silent.
No, I'm choosing to ignore.
Oh.
Oh wow. Zuka.
That's Zuka. He's our Luxodon friend.
You damn right.
Does he always stand there and brood silently?
No, he's
No,
just
not
we're
quite.
sad. We lost a friend.
Yes.
And actually I'm gonna go clean up so I can get ready for the funeral.
Facts.
Yeah, I don't think everyone is too chipper at the moment. Sorry about this.
That does make sense. My condolences.
Yes.
But you should all be also happy to be alive.
Yes, I can vouch for that. Me particularly.
I look forward to getting to know you more, Mirrodin, under better circumstances.
And you as well. I'm sure we'll get names eventually. Yep.
Okay,
Well.
so just so you're aware, the 150 gold that was left unstarred would have been given to you guys from the cleric, and he would have asked if you wanted his other possessions as well, or if you wanted to bury him with them.
Did he have a spell book?
No.
Okay. Is there a random jar around here?
There would be jars for you to use in the kitchen, yeah?
I'm gonna go in the kitchen and grab a jar, come back, and then put the money in the jar. And then I'm gonna go put it in the library.
Okay.
And label it,
Swear jar? Kidding.
yeah, swear jar.
By the way, I say that 150 gold goes back to Cyrene, because she paid 200 up front.
Alright. I go up to Cyrene and hand her the swear jar. Just a jar with money that says swear jar, that's it.
Thanks.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for chipping in the money, and also thanks for saving my life earlier. I never quite thank you for that.
You're welcome. At least we were just able to save one of you.
Yeah. This adventuring stuff is actually a lot tougher than I thought it'd be.
Yeah, same.
So as you guys are talking and stuff, Zuka pops out his potions kit, and he starts to light a fire onto one of the tables. And it's all accidental. But currently your table is on fire. And it's a pretty big fire.
I keep ray of frosting.
Does anyone else attempt to help?
Necessary. I guess Mirrodin will try to prestidigitation it out.
Can I do tidal wave?
Sure.
Just kidding.
Yeah, go ahead and just wipe out half the party. But yeah, it only takes you guys, a couple of your Ray of Frost and some prestidigitation, but you get rid of it. Zuka, that potion is now just a burnt heap of herb. It did not succeed.
Zuka, could you try making tea out of this? And I handed him that stuff I got from the clerics.
Sure. What would I do the same thing, Brady, or do my brewer supply?
You're trying to brew tea?
Yes.
Go ahead and roll the brewer supplies since you have them. So you watch, and Zuka is very meticulous on how he is brewing the tea. He makes sure that you actually watch him pull out a thermometer and measure the temperature of the tea. And once it gets to a certain point, he takes it off of the burner. He drops the tea leaves into it and lets it steep. He uses his trunk with a spoon to stir it while he does other things like clean up and stuff like that. But then he pours it back into the teapot and places it onto the table. And if anyone, he made enough to where everyone could have a cup. So anyone that wants a cup can have it. And it is the most delicious tea that you've ever had in your life.
And that's how Zuka gets down.
Thank you.
This certainly makes me feel a bit better.
Take a tea.
Saris does walk back in as you guys put out the fire, and he just kind of looks a little puzzled for a moment, and then he... So, I don't know if you've all noticed that dark plume of smoke to the south.
Yes. We forgot to mention. On our way back, we encountered one of the known Death Knights, and they kind of offered for us to kind of say we dealt with them, and then they would kind of incognito still do all their slavery operations. but we kind of snuffed them, and they said that we'll pay. And then one of the people we saved from their slaver boats was thrown on top of a cart as we entered the city, with a note saying, "Leave money here, or else, more harm will come."
Do you have that note?
I don't believe I grabbed it. Did anyone else grab it?
I believe Lacan has it.
Yeah, I take out the note right here.
Yeah. He goes up to grab it from you, and he reads over it. Yeah, it seems you guys have gotten into a little tussle with the Black Hand. This is alarming for sure. Usually they leave the peacekeepers alone, but it seems you've angered them enough for them to deem you a target. My suggestion would be possibly go ahead and pay this ransom, and hopefully maybe in the future your paths cross and you can get it back, and more. The Black Hand has been in the City of Guilds since its inception. As with any large empire, there will always be some sort of criminal activity, and they are at the pinnacle of it. We have tried dealing with them as peacekeepers, and we do not understand exactly what it is they're doing, but most of the time those groups end up disappearing outright. So we've kind of just left it to the town guard, but they seem to turn their noses when it's most inconvenient. But it's your decision ultimately. Hopefully this doesn't paint a target on my head. But I didn't do anything to them, so I should be fine. He laughs uncomfortably.
You stay safe. I'm not exactly sure if we're actually going to pay that ransom or not.
Yes, I feel that is something you have a very limited time to do. But before you all discuss that, let me tell you the situation with the Gnolls. You have, in fact, completed your 2-contract quota for the month, but that Gnoll situation has gotten a lot more dangerous. That dark plume of smoke that I was speaking of, it's coming from the most southern city within the City of Guilds. Our scouts have reported around 500 gnolls being seen scattered across that area. And we know that just sending out a couple groups of peacekeepers won't do it, and we've been able to enlist the city guard to send about 600 soldiers to the south to try to ward them off. But if you would like to accompany them and see to it that they are completely destroyed, we're offering a bonus for the completion of this contract for you only, should you choose to accept.
Wow. I looked at everyone else, so what do you guys think?
Well, considering the Gnolls are the ones that are in Black Hand, if not running it completely, and they have death mages, or necromancers, or whatever that lady was, I think it's going to be dangerous for the soldiers, and they're not going to be prepared for it.
Probably not. And everyone else?
I say we go for it. It is part of our original contract, even if the conditions have changed.
Saris, question.
You there, Brady?
Brady?
Oh, yeah, my bad.
Have any other groups been given notes like this before where Black Hand was demanding money? If so, were they given additional notes and just having to keep paying a ransom, or was it just one solid amount?
I think it has to do with whatever you did to cross their paths and make it necessary to get onto their radar. I've not had any first-hand experience with a group that's seen this, but I have heard tales of other peacekeepers that refused and then disappeared weeks later without a trace. I've also heard that some of these groups that disappeared end up being seen on other continents as slaves, And when people try to jog their memory or to free them, they tell them to definitely not, otherwise their life and the life of their saviors would be forfeit. They are a very dangerous organization. They're not just in the City of Guilds either, which is, I think, the big issue of it all. Because if we could deal with them here, then it would be fine. But they would just repopulate the city from their areas, various locations around the world.
Honestly, you guys, I think we should stay out of it and just pay the ransom. I think it's bigger than what we can handle right now.
Yeah, probably the best.
What is this ransom you people speak of?
We pissed off some people, and they're gonna keep messing with us unless we give them money.
Oh, of course, that makes perfect sense.
Some bad people.
Well, obviously, you mentioned the Black Han. So,
What do you know about them?
I don't know. They're bad?
That's extent.
You don't get a name like the Black Han without my being good.
That's most of our. That's about to the extent that we know as well. Well, what was the ransom? 500?
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, we could.
I saw that, Brady.
What?
Let's see. 600 divided 500 divided by 6.
If we each put 100 in, we should be fine.
There's 6 of us. So if we
Well,
all put...
Murden doesn't have anything to do with it, though.
Oh, you're correct. Yes, 500.
He shouldn't have to pay for our fuck up.
But you're correct. 100. Yeah.
I'm not going to pay money for a ransom of this kind.
Okay.
I'm not going to give in to their demands of us keeping quiet because we did not choose to leave them alone, continue their way.
I agree.
Well then, if it's looking like that, then I won't pay as well.
Well, then what are you, I guess, we going to do about it?
I guess we sleep with some eyes open, with multiple one eyes open. Hopefully, we can see them coming because they will be after us. So,
Zuka, you're involved in this. What do you feel?
oh, didn't he already say?
Yeah, he did say BRB. Yeah, and Ryu said he agrees with Lacan. Zuka is AFK right now.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys did, but you have taken a long rest since your ANKEG contract, so make sure you get all your spell slots and stuff back from a long rest. Because I noticed some of your HP was low. I went ahead and changed that part. Other than that, Saris does go, well, while you all figure out your ransom, the day is young, and the gods do plan on marching within the hour to head south. If you do choose to join them, you can meet them towards Holly Oak, which is where they will begin their journey. I'll be sure to see them off, as I do have quite a few friends that serve, and hopefully this is not the last time I do see them.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll meet with them. I guess we'll. How far away is it? You said, Brady, to meet with the guards.
To get to Hollyoak would take you, like, by carriage in your own cart, it will only take you, like, 30 minutes to get over there. Just because it's on the outskirts of town. I'll show you real quick. Right over here in the top left area.
Okay.
So they're going to be meeting, like, at this location and then heading to March.
I guess we'll miss the funeral, but I guess this is more pressing.
Saris looks to you. A funeral?
Oh, for
Oh, Stauden.
Yes.
It's not quite, and he kind of scratches his head. It's a lot more informal than that. Essentially, what the crypt keepers do is they prepare the body to be somewhat preserved for a long period of time, and then they take them to the crypts, which are below the city itself. There's only one way in and one way out, and typically it's not a huge ordeal. But in the future, should you wish to go and, I guess, send prayers or flowers or whatever it is that your cultures insist upon for the passing of your friends, that is when you would do that. Otherwise, there is not really a funeral of sorts. And it is unfortunate because most common folk, peacekeepers, commoners, crafters, they don't get these great, I guess, send-offs like royalty does. Which is quite infuriating, but I guess it comes with the territory.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, then I'm ready to go.
If anything, I'd rather teach the Black Can that we're not to be messed with by dealing with their Gnoll problem.
Well then, it sounds like we have a plan, so to speak. Shall we be off?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay. And then Gerald had to leave. He had to go and do something IRL. So hopefully he'll get back to play. Otherwise, I'll go ahead and just take control of Zuka and do what Zuka would do. Real quick, though, I'm going to go use the bathroom because I've drank like 2 liters of water since we started playing. So I'll be right back. If anyone else needs to use the bathroom, go for it. We'll reconvene in 5.
How's my mic sound?
You're good.
Okay.
Oh, I heard
So,
feedback though.
what? Is it like a headset mic, a standalone
No,
mic?
it's not. It's a mic, but sometimes I have to. I think I accidentally turned up the sensitivity really loud. And since my mic is close to my TV, it's kind of.
Well, like, is it on a stand on the desk?
Yeah, it's on my desk. On a
Okay,
and it's
well, that's what
on
happens
tripod.
every time you bump something. You know, the mic's gonna pick up those vibrations and.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, guys. I think this might be a bad idea.
I'm not gonna lie. If my character dies, I already know what I'm remaking him as. I'm gonna play pretty reckless. I'm okay with death. I mean, I don't want to die, but I'm trying to at least live 2 battles with the new character change.
I don't want to die. I like Cyrene.
Everything.
No, I already
everything
know what
you
I'm
do
doing if I die. There's 2.
Did you guys set in character or were you like out of character?
You saying what?
No, with the Cyrene. When you said that.
When I said I don't want to die?
No, this isn't a good idea.
Oh, both.
Yeah, so okay, I was a little because I came in like super late and I didn't want to bog down the gameplay, so I kind of didn't know what was going on. So basically, like now that we turned it down, what did he say? Like they're just gonna be on our ass pretty much, no matter where we go.
Yeah, and they're around the world, so if we get involved, then they'll just have others come after us from wherever they're at.
You know what? I think that we should keep going, and if it really gets too hard to handle, then we can just pay them off until we're strong. Then we just go in there and start murdering people. Like when we get to like level like 17, we should just murder everybody in the Black Hand.
I think like, this is the point of no return, though. Like if we do this, if we go and kill a bunch of them, then we can't just pay them off later. They'll want revenge.
I mean, I think that we can probably pay them off. Money means that, like, say I've already convinced this. Say we're young, we're a fool, or somebody just blame it on me. Like I'm a demigod and just be like, he was a young gun. I don't know, just blame it on the younger people and the honor. We can fake somebody's death maybe. I don't know, to make it interesting at least. But I definitely don't want to give in to it. Like paying them off. We're better than that. We just got to get stronger. I think we can do it. And honestly, I think they're going to double cross us anyway.
I mean, just think of it this way. It's more EXP if we keep killing these people that are after us.
I guess.
Assuming we even play that
Oh,
way.
yes, I love EXP.
I don't know if that's how Brady wants to roll the campaign, but if we get XP per encounter, that's more EXP.
No, it is milestone. We went over that in session 0.
It's ride or die.
Ride or die.
But you can get gold.
Oh, wow.
Exactly, yeah, extermination points.
Right, reputation. We are now hated by the Black Hand. We are now despised by the Black Hand.
Revered with the city of guilds.
Soon to be vilified.
Exalted with, yeah. How
Soon to be
fun.
dead.
Time will tell, I guess. Okay, so I assume everyone is cool with, or everyone's back. So, as you guys go ahead and get your cart and all that stuff ready, and you start rolling out of the of your guild hall, you do see you see a couple different things throughout the city. You see a bunch of armored guards as they're coming from various locations, all convening to this spot known as Holly Oak. And actually, I'll show you real quick. So, as you guys are like making your way through these locations, you do see all the other guards that are heading out, also heading to this location. You see their families hugging them as they leave. As a city guard, this has been the safest place that they could be, just because, you know, the Empire has known war, because it was, I don't know if you guys read the background of the campaign, but the Free City of Guilds has known war, but it's kind of been not involved directly in any war. They've always had people to sort of be around to help protect them, except for they haven't had to like fight another empire for anything, because this was all neutral territory and it's all the empires gathered as one. So this is seemingly kind of one of the first instances of a large-scale battle for these soldiers. And you can tell that by the way that they're saying goodbye to their loved ones, just in case. You see sons and daughters weeping. You see wives and husbands embracing each other for what almost, the way you can tell by the body language, it's almost as if they're saying goodbye for the final time. But after that hour goes by, you see on the outside of town there's about 600 guards all lined up along this road, ready to head out. There's various carts full of supplies and gear. That way they can, they will have to camp, because it's about a day and a half journey to get to that southern town, and two, it allows them to be able to march a little bit easier. There are, you know, a few officers and stuff like that that are leading them on horseback. But as you guys get towards the towards like the main, I guess, congregation of these guards, one of the officers approaches you. So you must be the peacekeepers that are going to help us. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yes.
Now, I'll go ahead and tell you this, just from my personal experience. You all definitely will be better off in combat than any of my men, as unfortunate as that may seem. They do not have the gifts that you all have been given, and I would request that you lead the charge alongside me, if that is okay with you. Otherwise, you may do as you wish. But on the way there, we can discuss tactics if you wish to be a part of all this.
Alright.
The gentleman looks like this.
Minimize casualties.
Oh dear.
Except for he's not named Siege the Crimson. His name is Sergey.
Right, it's like, right, like I feel like I know you.
You seem familiar in the future.
Have we met before?
Anyway, so
it would be
yes,
best to minimize casualty if we can.
Perfect. And a couple of the men that are near you, they overhear some of this conversation, and you can see it's sort of like a sigh of relief as they're like, oh, thank God that we're not going to be paving the way for these guys who are a lot stronger than us. Anyway, so on your travels, it will take you guys a day and a half to get to this city that you don't know the name of. And Sergey will. So, have you all been to Krem before?
Not once.
No.
Did you guys actually forget that you have been there?
Oh, is that the town we? Yeah, we have. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the town you dropped off.
I'm sorry, Brady. Yeah.
Well, yeah, y'all never asked for the name of that town when you walked in.
Oh, we didn't?
Which is why I never gave it. Yeah, that's why I never gave it to you.
Okay, got it.
This is where you dropped off those people, including the dead body that you had found on top of your cart the other day.
Yeah, okay. Yes. Okay, now I remember.
I gave the lady and the guys the money.
Yeah. And the
children. It's probably a good thing we didn't ask for that name, though. Too many cram jokes.
Yeah. It's a sort of midpoint between the City of Guilds and the Yodian Empire. Really just a place to rest instead of having to camp out on the road. There's probably, I would say, less than 200 common folk that live there, and I'm quite curious as to what you know about these gnolls and why they would be interested in such a small village, especially when, you have Diavale to the west, Lawnburg to the east, where our lumber supply comes from. There's really no strategic reason to take over such a small village, one that its biggest building is the tavern. Anything you can help me understand?
The only reason I can guess would be because some of the people we saved were dropped off in Krem.
Yeah, it's people pass there all the time. And the Gnolls can easily do their slavery operation. They can just kidnap people. So, like, it's always a people in flux, People go missing. No one really cares.
Interesting. I guess that does make sense. Especially if, if people from the Yodian Empire headed this way and go missing, that could stir up some trouble. He starts to stroke his chin in deep thought.
Well, way for interfering with them.
Yes. Well, is there anything specific about their tactics or maybe their equipment that you can tell me so I can relay it to my men and maybe we're better off in combat?
They have large hyenas.
They will kill any civilians immediately if they have people injured, if you don't give in to their demands. So unfortunately, innocent casualties can be high.
They do have some that will do magic, like necromancy and things like that.
And yes, there's one.
But the majority of the forces are rather simple gnolls. They just have these regular martial weapons and armor. There was one in particular, though, that wears plate and wields a great sword. That one I would caution to not have your men go near, should they encounter this one.
He's
still a mystery to us as well, but yeah, he would be a great threat to anyone not trained in combat very well.
Yes, that makes sense. So avoid the one that wields the great sword. And as far as you know, he's the only one that does.
You cut out.
Oh, wow.
Avoid the one with the great sword, and then you.
Huh. He's the only one that wields that weapon?
From what we've seen, so just the one.
Very well. He goes to one of his men as they're marching along, and he tells them to spread that info. And you can hear a bunch of, normal volume voices just speaking, kind of chanting it to where it hits, or to where it gets to the ears of all 600 men. It's very efficient. Very good. So, more than likely, what we should probably do then is surround the whole town with our group, or do you think we should just file in one direction and try to just sweep them out?
Well, the gnolls are going to be in large packs. They're going to be a large swarm. So, I guess maybe
how many men would it take to surround?
Well, being that it is a relatively small village, I would say if we spread them out to where, we could probably do it 6 sides of 100 each and make a complete circle, and then just encase them. And then really all we have to do is put out our pikes and they should fall on them. Very easy. We might not need you any after all.
I would say perhaps if we could do it with maybe 500 men, and we could, with us and the others, try to force them into the end of the circle. Try to trap them as best we can and close in on them.
Yes, that could be useful as well.
Though I would recommend, if any of your men do see the one that wields the great sword, perhaps to have them melee and let us know so that we can try to deal with him to minimize, because I'm sure if he wanted to break through, he could probably do so with ease.
Yes, alright. That sounds good. Is there anything else to add for now? If not, I'm going to relay this information to my officers and make sure my men are well informed of the threat.
Oh, just want to mention that the large one with the plate and the great sword can fade in and out of existence and perhaps even teleport. So be careful of that.
Yeah, it's quite alarming, but duly noted. And with that, he gives you a head nod and tells you he will return, and then kind of rides off to the other folks that are on horseback. So at this moment, if you guys want to do, as you guys are traveling, if you guys want to do a campfire story and vote on someone to get inspiration, you may, or we can fast forward.
I don't got nothing.
I don't either, so probably fast forward.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it sounded like. Maybe. Let's see. Okay. So, Sergey will end up coming back and sort of just talking to you guys, unless you have anything specific that you sort of tell him. You continue till you get to about the crossroads. The first location that you guys did meet the Gnoll Death Knight. And as everyone's sort of there, all setting up camp and stuff, a few things as you guys sort of walk around looking is on the southern road you can see what looks to be bonfires just lit and expelling this black smoke. Near those bonfires, as best you can tell, it looks like there's these sort of large flagpoles, and you can see humanoid bodies hanging from them.
Disturbing.
Do any of them look alive, or they're already dead?
From this, there's no movement coming from it. But as like the flames sort of dance in the shadow, it almost looks as if these people are struggling to get off of the flagpole. But as you kind of like rub your eyes and squint a little bit, you can definitely tell that they're just kind of hung there, motionless.
Well, that's some psychological warfare if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, so
It would seem this is their
rather gruesome.
this is their way of telling us that we messed with them too much. Though, no matter, we should put an end rather than let them do as they please.
Mm-hmm. Let's take them out.
Okay. So as you guys prepare for sleep and such, is there anything, is there anyone doing any watches or anything? You do know that the guards, they do shifts and patrols throughout the whole camp that they set up, which would include wherever you guys set up for the night.
I'll take a watch with the guards.
Mirrodin will offer to take the first 4 hours of watch.
Okay.
I would suggest, considering that the Black Hand basically has a bounty on our head, that would probably always be helping watch and stick close to one another in times like this. I would also highly recommend that while you're on watch, should you hear any noise or see anything, to not get too close and investigate, because if you get snatched away from the group, that would make it difficult. We should probably just minimize how vulnerable we are when we're not all here and conscious.
I'm just catching Tiny Hut, Alarm, Goodberry, and staying in one spot and sleeping.
Okay.
Alright, everyone, here's
so,
a rope. Let's all tie each other to the same rope, so...
Yeah.
So not starting. Whoops, already. Mirrodin tells you guys that he doesn't sleep. He actually just does a 4-hour trance each night. So he'll watch over you guys for the first 4 hours. Once he feels the need to do his trance, he'll wake up in Ryu, so that he can sort of join the patrols or just kind of take a gander of what's going on from inside the tiny hut. Zuko would then also more than likely take the last one, I think. That's something Gerald would do. So far he's taken a watch every time you guys do something, so I'll assume that's what he does. So if anyone else wants to join, you can. And as everyone does go to sleep, if you're joining the first 4 hours of watch with Mirrodin, go ahead and roll a perception check.
So, which hour? Is it going to be the first 2 or the last 2 hours?
He's doing the first... Yeah, he's doing the... it'd be... The first 2 hours and the last 2 hours are relatively the same. the first part of that first 2 hours is easier to see because the sun is still like, you know, kind of there to where you see a sunset. The last half of that first 2 hour ends up going pitch black, and then the same thing but opposite. It starts pitch black and then it gets lighter for the last watch.
I'll either do the beginning or end just because I don't have night vision for the middle.
Okay.
So I'll do end for this one.
Okay.
I will.
All right.
In addition to myself keeping watch, I will summon my familiar Toidio, Lord of Berries, to aid me in this endeavor.
Okay. You guys watch as you're getting ready. Mirrodin sort of waves his hand over his left shoulder, and you see this little pseudo-dragon with a strawberry in its hand, and it starts eating on it and looks very happy to be pulled out of its pocket dimension to see its master.
Greetings, Toidio. We will be taking first and second watch tonight. Are you ready?
He looks at you and nods his head and eats a berry, part of his berry, and then he holds it up to your mouth for you to take a bite.
I like lean in towards and take the tiniest bite.
Okay.
Thank you, Toidio.
If a pseudo-dragon could blush, he does so. With that, the darkness of sleep takes over the rest of you, except for Mirrodin. So if Mirrodin could take or roll a perception check,
and then also
and I get
one for
in
Toidio.
Toido as well. Yeah.
Toidio has a thing for this.
Okay. So as you guys are looking out, you do see the guards as they're walking around throughout the night. Doesn't seem like anything is happening as of right now. You look up towards the sky and there's decent cloud coverage. Every now and then they give way for the moonlight to sort of illuminate the camp, and you use this time to kind of survey a little bit further than your 60 feet of dark vision allows. And you see the guards, their demeanor, they seem quite hopeful, especially because you guys are there. You hear some of their banter as they walk past your tiny hut, saying that there's no way they're going to lose to a bunch of upright dogs, stuff like that. But your watch goes relatively easy. And at the end of it,
Nice.
you start to get a heavy mind as you know it's time for you to do your trance. So you go and wake Enryu up. So Enryu, as you start to take your watch, do you do anything specific? Like, do you leave the tiny hut, or do you just sit in there and watch? Either way, go ahead and roll me perception.
Okay. Give me 1 second. Dang, it's still showing that map. How do we, never mind, I'll just pull up my character sheet and do it. You said perception, right?
Yeah. Correct. Okay. And then you just, you're just in the tiny hut while you're watching, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, also, real fast, Jeff, where did you put your tiny hut? Would you have put it in the middle of the camp, on the outskirts, closer to the location you're walking to, or closer to the City of Guilds?
In the middle.
Okay. So yeah, in Ryu, with the little bit of light that sheds from the moon, you're able to kind of look down or look around and see that everything seems to be fine. You still see sort of the bonfire in the distance down the road, but it's kind of embered out. And you look around, and then all of a sudden it flares back up. And from that you can see a humanoid-looking creature holding a torch, and it's very hairy, and it kind of seems to be lighting this bonfire again. And there's a there's another shadow that it's with that it starts heading towards that little flagpole thing. Granted, this is about half a mile away, so it's like very minuscule, but when you squint your eyes, you can sort of see this. And you see some of the guards grab their pikes and stuff and look like they're not alerting everyone yet, but they're kind of watching this happen.
Okay. Who else is up with me? Like that are besides the this in my party?
No one in your party, just you.
I still continue to watch vividly. If I need to make any more checks, just let me know. Yeah. I'm more like instead of how on everything, but I'm more focused on the figures now.
Okay, so yeah, you're looking at the figure, and you watch it take something. You watch it take the torch and sort of put it maybe in its mouth as it cuts down rope, and you see the shadow that was hanging from that flagpole object fall, and you see this new one getting placed up there. Right now, this new one is squirming, and as he looks like he's tying a rope around his arms, you see him constantly making what almost looks like a stabbing motion with his hands, and then you see no more squirming from that dark shadow as this creature waves his torch in the air towards your camp and then puts it out and walks away to where you can't see him anymore. At this point, the guards, you can kind of overhear their conversation. They're like, what a bunch of monsters. We need to make sure, like, what if that was our families? Some of them are arguing about going in right now to attack them, but you hear the familiar voice of Sergei as he approaches, not wearing his armor, but he tells everyone that they're going to stand their ground and remember their training. Don't let your discipline folly now, because this is what they want you to do. So the general populace of this camp is very uneasy. Other than that, nothing else happens, but this bonfire is burning through the rest of your watch as you kind of just watch or look at it. Okay. So as your watch comes to an end, you start to get sleepy and you rub your eyes and you go ahead and shake Lacan awake. Because Lacan wanted the last one. Did anyone else want to join him?
I want to relay what just happened to Lacan and whoever joins them, if somebody does join them.
Alright, yeah. So, Ryu tells Lacan about what he just witnessed, and he points to the bonfire, which you see is still lit right now, Lacan. Hold on.
No, keep going.
Oh, no, I was reading what you just sent me. What is that for? What you just said? Is that for the macros?
Skills, saves. Yeah, for the macros.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't think there's a way to make it, like, I think if I make the macro for that and it does, and I just put the character, I would have to make 6 of them, and that would take a lot of space on my macro sheet. But I could possibly do that. But for now, that's the one that encompasses all tokens, including my NPCs.
No, for you, NPC is generic. It'd be us, players. For our sheet. But we can go back later.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying, yeah. Okay, yeah, we can change. You guys should actually be able to change that yourself, I believe. But yeah, regardless, so, and Ryu wakes up Lacan, he tells you about what he saw, and you see the bonfire is still lit over there. As your watch goes, you can see down the road, like, you can see, I believe the way it works is unless there's fog, you can see like up to 2 to 3 miles down. You might not be able to see, like, you know, vividly or details of things, but you can see quite a ways. So during the sunrise, you see a lot more of these bonfires start to pop out on that road heading towards that southern town. And you can hear the chatter between the guards, and they're starting to get very uneasy. Go ahead and roll me a perception check, Lacan. And yeah, that's really all you notice is the chatter between the guards as they're waking up for their various shifts, and also the additional bonfires down the way. Other than that, the rest of your night goes on without any incident or anything like that. Once the sun starts to rise, the ones that slept through the night start to wake up. Mirrodin opens his eyes, finished with his trance. Those of you that took a watch wake up yawning as you didn't get, a full night's rest, but you're rested enough for the day. At this point, Sergei comes up to your tiny hut as it's about to diminish with his armor on, and he kind of he looks for an entrance but he doesn't see what an entrance could be, and he kind of just gives up and knocks on the side of it. Excuse me, are you all awake?
Yes.
I poke my head. I disabled the tiny hut.
You disabled the what?
I turn off tiny hut.
Okay. So tiny hut goes away, and he's like, oh, there you all are. Very good. Well, I don't know if many of you were awake during the night, but, and he points down the road to where all of these locations, or all these little bonfires are. They're definitely trying to get to us with whatever that is. More likely some sort of sacrifice or sick ritual. Regardless, it has quite a few of my men shaken. So I think the sooner that we head out to deal with this threat, the better.
All right. Now lead the way.
Agreed.
Okay. So you guys do your various things to get ready for the day. You load up anything that you took out of your cart, put it back in, and you start heading down. And it does take you about half a day to get to the outskirts of this location. And as you're going, you come to notice that these flagpoles are spiked at the very tip of it. And these people that they tie them to the base of it, but first they impale them from the back of their skull out the mouth. So they've got this spike coming out of their mouth, and you can see that their eyes are glossed over and rolled to the back of their head. You can see that they're tied to the spike, completely stripped naked. And the bonfire is close enough to them to where when you're walking by, you can smell charred flesh and you can smell the hair burning. And as you look into the bonfire itself, you see skulls and other various humanoid bones. The guards are starting to get weary. This whole thing, new bonfire seems to appear every couple hundred feet, and it's a different person each time. Sometimes it's a man, sometimes it's a woman. On 2 occasions, you see 2 children on the same spike, and a lot of the men, as they see this, take off their helmet and proceed to throw up on the side of the road. As it starts to get more and more gruesome the closer you get to this town. With you guys leading the group, you see a sort of dark smoke as it sort of coming from where the village should be. And you see a little wisp of that smoke start to wind down towards the road, and then it starts to fill into a humanoid shape of the Death Knight. And as he appears in front of you, He steps aside as you guys start to walk by, and he starts to walk with your cart. You might be wondering why we've gone through all this trouble. I'll let you know now. You're leading all these men to their deaths. It probably best you turn back. The only people we're after... the only people we're after are you all. Necessary sacrifices. So, you can tell the rest to run along and come alone, and it'll be a lot easier.
Sacrifices for what?
For his coming. But you'll know soon enough. Regardless, my quarrel is with you, and he points to Lacan. You will be the grand sacrifice, and I'll make sure to kill you with my hands. Let it be known if you do avoid me. Huh?
I said, will you actually be here this time?
Of course. Someone's going to have to cut you down for sure, and I want it to be me.
As
now, go ahead.
So he's walking with us as we.
Yeah, he's walking to the side of you, and you can definitely tell that this isn't his real form because you see the sort of wisp of smoke as he's walking. So like the breeze is taking bits of him away, and then they kind of regain from the black smoke that's overhead.
Okay.
But he looks to you guys again and says, the rest of these will be minor sacrifices, but if you really want a chance to end this all, you'll meet me at the front of the town. That is where we will do battle. And you can see the men behind you have their pikes as they're walking, sort of in front of them, pointed towards this knoll. And he kind of looks back. Easy kills. And he kind of like barks at them, and they all kind of shake and stop, which kind of leads like this whole like slinky effect of everybody else like bumping into each other for a moment. A bunch of little children. Hope you're ready. And as he says that, the wisp of the smoke starts to take him back to the large plume above head. And he disappears.
I turned to those guys that were behind us. That is the one that y'all want to avoid in combat.
And they all have these pale... no, but you do see... Lacan sees, since he's looked back at the soldiers, Sergei is riding alongside them towards you guys right now. Probably take them 30 seconds to get up there with how many there are. But all these troops have really pale faces, and they look terrified. But Sergei does ride up, and he's like, why did we stop for a mere moment? What happened?
The one we warned you about, he had one of his illusions speaking to us for a moment.
Huh. Interesting. Anything important that I should know of?
No, just that he wants us dead.
Figures.
And that
well,
he'll be waiting for us specifically at the front of the town.
Well, perfect. If that's the case, we could just rain arrows on him.
He also mentioned something about a sacrifice, and we're all going to be sacrifices for something, for someone's coming. Not sure.
Strange. Yes, it seems like some sort of satanic cultist bullshit to me. It's all a lie.
They worship, or their supposed god is called the Beast of Butchery, so that's what he's referring to.
Ah, so this is a sacrifice to some underling demon kind of thing.
It sounds like.
Very strange. Well, the only sacrifices that are going to get made are their own. Right, men? And he holds up a spear, and about maybe 30 out of the whole 600. There's probably like 200 within earshot as he does that, and like 30 of them like hold up their pikes and then look around awkwardly and reset. Seems they've gotten morale.
Yeah, considering his main goal is us, like you said, if they can rain a barrage from afar, then they just need to worry about the small fry.
Very well. We do have about 100 archers, and most of these boys are trained with a spear. So we'll do our best and see what happens, I guess. But we should be there within a few hours. Please keep me informed if anything else happens. Otherwise, I'm going to try to boost morale a little bit.
Yes. Remind your men that if we fail here, they will be coming for their friends and family in the city. So we fight to save the lives of everyone we care about.
Well said. And he nods at you all and rides off. So let's take another quick 5-er or less, because I gotta use the bathroom again. I drink too much water. And then we'll reconvene and continue. So I'll be right back.
Meese has the strength to eliminate Germany's military.
Eliminate Germany?
Germany's
Yeah.
military. Amazing.
Hey, I got a quick question.
Oh, I have a quick answer.
Oh, it's out of character.
Okay.
I'm adding, I'm adding I don't know if I did. I'm adding like a like my spells for one of my like attacks to like the list, you know, where they put like our weapons and stuff like that. Do I need to add them right there or not really? Because he added my lightning breath, but
Where are you adding them?
under the where the equipment goes, like where my hand axe, javelin, where he puts that stuff at.
Yeah.
Can I add it
You're
there?
trying to do what? Yeah.
Add the spell thunderclap. I don't know how to like. It's a spell, so I don't know. Like, do I need to have like a damage part? Because it doesn't say that it scales
so
with anything.
Hit plus sign where it adds like a new row.
Okay, I did that, and I see
You
it's
see the little
con.
gear. If you click on there's a little gear you can open that up with.
Oh, okay. Now I'm starting to see it. Like, yeah, it's a con save. I'm proficient at that. Damage.
You got attack. The attack is that the roll, the 1d20 plus your modifier. So this spell, what kind of roll does it take to hit?
It's a con save, so it's like
Well, does the spell automatically hit? Like, how does the spell?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's automatically gonna hit.
You're talking about thunderclap?
You create con save, so they must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 damage, and it doesn't say if like they take half or anything.
You see where it says saving throw?
Yep.
If you check that box and you click on strength, you can change it to con. And what's the DC? They have to make a con check versus your what?
It does not say.
So his let's see, this one. Yeah, I'll have to read because I believe. Let's see. Charisma.
Yeah, it did not specify, but I can probably find it on the web on like a better website. That.
Or link me where you're getting this info from.
Where I'm reading it from. All right.
Yeah. Also, Brady, the macro thing, it's just for the player, because I know you have a million tokens you have to click on. But that way, like, if you told us to make a check and run the world map, we don't have a token we can select, we can't use that macro.
That's true, yeah.
But yeah, that'll be for player only, since we don't have to worry about clicking on all the various tokens that you would normally click on.
So your DC for your 2 cantrips, Dallas, should be 8 plus your proficiency plus your spellcasting modifier. And I think charisma is yours just because your additional effects for this subclass are based on charisma, so that would be what I think it would be. So right now your DC that they have to make is 12. The spells are going to be either charisma, wisdom, or intelligence. And since this one has charisma all throughout the class, it'll definitely be... Oh yeah. It even says in the comments on the bottom that the DC is based off charisma. Boom. So you need thunderclap and lightning lure.
Okay. Eyes here.
Okay.
By the way, instead of Germany's military, it depends on Gnoll military. I don't have that word for Billy Mays.
That makes sense. Let's see, is Kirsten back?
I never left.
Okay, is Martin back?
I never left.
Okay, and I know Dallas is still here, Jeff, and alright, so we got everybody. Okay, so as you guys are continuing on, let's see, there's a thing I needed to do. You come to where you start to see the sort of outskirts or the silhouettes of a town. But the thing that's off-putting is the center of the town, you remember, had, like, it was just plain. It was just a road, really, and there was nothing in it. But now that you're looking at it from this far, there's some large structure in the middle of it. Not exactly sure what this structure is. You're not sure what exactly it's there for, but it's quite large. As you continue forward, it starts to come into view that this is another large bonfire, and you see a few gnolls on the outskirts of the road shoot a arrow up in the air. And as it looks like it's lit on fire, and once it gets to probably about 100 feet in the air, it explodes. It's kind of like a little flare gun. The Sergei dispatches a few guards that run to go and dispatch of them, but they're a lot quicker and hide in the surrounding forest, and then he recalls them. As that firecracker arrow goes off, a few more of them go off, sort of almost like a trickling echo effect. With that, you see a few lit torches going onto the bonfire, and then all of a sudden it starts to consume that whole thing in the middle. And the massiveness of this is kind of hard to, without seeing it, but I don't have a picture or anything. But it's taller than the tallest building by probably at least 5 times. And at this point, as the fire is like crackling, which you can hear it even though you're like probably about less than a mile away, you can hear the screams of people. The soldiers are starting to get really uneasy at this point, and it's starting to show that they definitely never encountered an enemy like this before. So they're starting to freak out. Sergei is doing everything he can to try to calm them down, but it doesn't seem to be working. And you guys proceed forward. And
I'm not gonna have a lot to say, but I will look to them. As bad as it is, it'll only get worse if we don't put an end to them now.
And as you guys, as you say that, go ahead and roll me a persuasion check. Okay, so you say that, and it looks like it takes hold to a couple of folks. They look to kind of like steel their resolve and taking a deep breath and go, okay, we can make it through this. There's obviously some people that are still, freaked out and scared to death, but such as war. As you get a little bit closer, you notice the sheer amount of gnolls as they start to pour out of this village and start to surround the entire thing. They just come out. It looks like they're wielding various different weaponry, swords, crossbows, short bows, long bows, everything you could possibly think of that's kind of common. And then you notice that each gnoll, with some of the gnolls, it looks like they're holding a silhouetted humanoid figure as well. You guys get a little bit closer to where you can see the great detail, and in front of you, you can see a very large group of gnolls and probably 30 commoners, all tied up together, all of them covered in some sort of glistening substance, and you see a bunch of gnolls with torches right near them. As you get further still, Sergei orders his men to go ahead and start fanning out and trying to surround the village, and the gnolls don't budge from their location. This whole maneuver takes him about 5 minutes to complete, and the gnolls watch as this happens, as if they're inviting it. Then you see a familiar silhouette start to walk out from the center all alone, sort of as if the gnolls part in order to allow this creature to walk forward, and it's that of the Death Knight. You guys are probably about 300 feet away from the entrance, so there's a good amount of space between the City of Guild's army and the Gnoll army right now. But this creature is definitely wielding a two-handed weapon. He's got it rested on his shoulder as he walks forward, and he's got 2 others that sort of fan out from behind him and step to the sides. Do you guys approach?
The Death Knight. Hold on, let me see. How far did you say he was from us?
Right now, 300 feet.
We're not gonna. I'd say we hold our position.
Yeah, I'm holding.
You see him wave his hand, and his people that are with him, as well as the big group of folks, start to come forward a little bit, closing the gap between you guys. You see Sergey running around with his officers, also running around the rest of the battlefield, ordering his men to hold. He's ordering his archers to start taking aim, but not to fire yet. At this point, you guys are about a little less than 200 feet away from the Gnoll Death Knight as he comes into focus. And he's about 100 yards away from his main pack of gnolls. I didn't want to litter this place with too many more tokens, but you have like army, like a bunch of guards and stuff that are lined up that go this way. But this is your current welcoming party. As you can see, I've come with a little bit of security, if you will. Now,
we can see that.
This is going to be quite easy. Me and my comrades, and he points to these creatures right here, which you notice they've got these sort of painted, like red paint around their eyes. They've got this really white fur, which is kind of weird for a gnoll to have. You've never seen it before. And then you see the horde of like 10 plus gnolls, all with torches, and all these commoners are all tied together, and they've got something glistening, some sort of liquid glistening onto their bodies, and they're drenched in it. Order your men to attack, but do not let them interfere with our battle. We will not kill these villagers unless they do not do as such. He puts his great sword into the ready position. Now, let the slaughter begin. And I need everyone to roll initiative, please. Let's see. So let's see, I gotta do Zuka.
Damn.
Why is there two sirens?
Wait, what? Oh, there we go. Sorry, I didn't scroll all the way over, so I didn't see myself.
Yeah, hold on, I gotta add you, I think. Alfric?
Yes.
I do not see... Yeah, I don't see yours on there for some reason. Let me change that. It's weird.
Oh.
You had a 15?
Yeah, 15.
Are you doing it from your character sheet or from the token?
Yeah, I did from the character sheet that time.
Okay, yeah, that's weird. For some reason it didn't pop on. Yeah. Alright. So Zuka's first. Now I gotta learn how Zuka does his thing.
He gonna make people fast.
Oh, look at the names under the Death Knights. Goo.
Yeah. Yanagi.
Yeah, I think what he would probably do he would use his Jolt coffee with 3 ingredients, and he would give it to Lacan, giving Lacan an additional 30 movement speed. And then he will move probably right there, and then equip his longbow and end his turn. Alfric, your turn.
Well, let's see how much distance is between them and me.
This map is a little laggy.
It's because of the amount of tokens, which, give me a second. And now that you understand how many of those commoners are tied up, I'll just get rid of them all. And that should help it, maybe. Keyword should. If it doesn't, then oh well.
It's okay.
He's measuring me.
I can't hit anyone, even if I move up. So I'm going to cast Major Armor on myself and move up here, and then my turn.
Okay. With that is Mirden.
Yep. Mirden is going to move up. Nice, young, 30 feet. Cast a mirror image on himself.
Alright.
And that'll be it.
Cool. Alright, so with that it is in Ryu's turn.
Oh, sorry, my mic was muted. And I ended my turn. All I was doing was moving over there.
Okay. Alright, Lacan, your turn.
Yeah, I'll move forward. All I can do, but I'm not going to rush forward. I'm super far out of the group for now, at least. How long does that stuff last?
Last a minute, I believe.
Alright.
Yeah, for 1 minute, so...
9 turns left.
Yeah. Cyrene?
I'm gonna move up 30 feet, and then I'm gonna Misty Step another 30 feet.
Okay. So, you would move like there, and then you can go one more square up if you wanted to.
I'm good here.
Okay. Alright, so with the Gnoll Death Knight, he moves up 30 feet. And then he puts his great sword in front of him, getting ready. And then these other two Gnolls, sort of cackling behind him, walk up as well. And at the end of the round, you watch as, well, really, you kind of watch and you hear the order to charge as the men start to rush in. They're about the same distance, or they're a little bit further back than you guys. Or no, they're on the same field as you. The Gnolls are a little bit further back, and you can watch as they start to swarm each other. With that, Zuka will go ahead and he'll probably jolt Coffee and Ryu with 3 ingredients, giving you an extra 30 feet of speed. And then he'll walk up 30 feet as well himself. And end his turn with Alfric.
Okay. We move up here. Going to cast slow.
Alright. And it's a 40-foot cube.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So, alright, they will all try to make wisdom saving throws. Your DC is 16, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So as you cast your spell over the area, you watch the Death Knight almost go unchanged, and the other two almost look as if their breathing has slowed down a bit.
Okay. I'm my turn.
Alright. Mirrodin.
Mirrodin is going to move up 5 extra feet. Take a good old Eldritch Blast at this one.
Okay. Firing on all cylinders.
Yep. Both of them on
You get
that
2 of them right, or is that at level 6?
I
Or is that
do.
an invocation? Okay.
It's a
Very
cantrip.
neat. That's right, yeah. So that one hits, and that one misses.
And then Mirrodin will go ahead and move back 20 feet. And
Okay.
25 feet. That's it.
So you guys watch Mirrodin roll up, and he takes his hand and casts one spell, and then takes his other hand and makes it meet the next one, and he casts his second spell, and you see this greenish, like, ball of force head over. One of them hits the Gnoll right in the chest, and it pushes them back enough to where the other one misses, and Mirrodin's like, damn. In Ryu, your turn. You do have 30 extra movement speed.
Alright. So I'm going to go about right here. And... oh, hold on. That's what I meant to do. I'm gonna go right here, and then I'm gonna fly 10 feet in the air, and end my turn.
Okay. Lacan.
Moving forward. I'm good. Actually,
Okay.
what's the ready action we can have? Like, dodge?
Anything you can do with a normal action, you can ready it, and then once it triggers, you use your reaction and your action to do that. So dodge is an action that you could ready. Attack is an action you could ready. Drinking a potion is something you can ready, but you can't ready.
Yeah,
movement.
I'll ready attack if he gets close enough.
Okay. All right, Cyrene.
I'm going to call lightning,
All right.
and I'm going to go straight for the death mage, or the death gnoll.
Okay. That's a dexterity save, which he does fail, so he'll take 15 damage from that as this lightning cloud starts to fill up, and it's kind of hard to differentiate these plumes of black smoke with Cyrene's cloud, but you do see little bits of lightning as it starts to streak every now and then all finally it coalesces in the center, and just like a large beam strikes down, and you can hear the Gnoll. "Argh!" Okay.
And then I'm going to back up a little bit, and then call that good.
Okay. So the Gnoll. Let's see, with slow they get half their movement speed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So these ones move up very slowly, and the Death Knight looks over his shoulder and kind of seems to have a general understanding of why this is, and he doesn't move up as far away from them as he would, and then he looks like he gets ready with his weapon. The soldiers around you are starting to head into battle, and they look like they're running as fast as they can. The Gnolls aren't running as fast, and they end up stopping almost to meet them head on after a little bit. But they're roughly within 100 feet of each other at this point. And then we go to Zuka's turn. And Zuka is going, I think, to try his Frost Barrage on the Gnoll Death Knight. So you guys watch him take out 4 special arrows, put them on his bow, and he fires them all. Oh, it didn't do his thing. So we'll keep that first one and disregard that last one. But 2 of those will hit for a total of 14 cold damage, as the other 2 kind of like hit his armor and then shatter, and you see little shards of ice sort of melt instantly with the heat that's kind of radiating off of the bonfire. And then Zuko will take 20 feet of movement to get sort of behind where Ryu and Lacan is to offer support if need be. Alfric, your turn.
I cast Ray of Frost on the Death Knight.
Alright. Well, that misses. Also kidding.
Darn.
No, that definitely hits. And then what does Ray of Frost? It makes his movement
reduces,
10 less?
Yes, 10 less.
Okay. So he's a frosty boy. Alright. So you guys, Alfric steps up to the plate, and you watch him get these 2 like globes of ice in both of his hands and sort of like put them together almost like a Kamehameha as this ray of cold energy that seems to be a lot more powerful than it usually is. Hits this the Death Knight right in the chest, and you can see as it starts to frost over his armor, and he starts to, you can see as he's kind of yelling out in pain, the cold breath leaving his mouth. Alfric looks quite pleased with himself. Mirrodin.
Yes.
Alright, Mirrodin's gonna approach. Maybe? Yes. No, he's not gonna approach. He's in range. Actually, he will approach 5 feet. 5. And I guess he'll help the Death Knight twice.
Okay. Unfortunately, both of those miss. I wonder how this is gonna work. Roll again. I don't like that effect. I'm gonna actually take it out. Okay, that one isn't as bad, I don't think. But yeah, so you walk forward and you fire off Eldritch Blast and it misses, and you walk forward again, and for some reason your robe became loose and you kind of get tangled up with your hands, and now they're kind of tied somehow, and you're like, what the fuck?
Okay, I guess I'm here then. That's it.
Okay. All right, and Ryu.
Oops. Oh, my bad. All over the place. It won't let me click on my person now. There we go. Okay. Alright, we'll just do this manually. Alright, I'm gonna move right here. Sorry, right here. And then I'm going to enrage. Let me knock down one of my radius. And then I'm going to hit him with my halberd. And then I'm going to hit him again with the halberd. Of course.
Damn. The first one does hit. Oh, that's awkward. Wow. Wonder why that didn't roll the damage.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oh wait, do I need to do that?
I did it for you, because you're resistant to bludgeoning and piercing while you're raged, so you only take 3 damage from that.
Oh, you did? Okay, cool. Yeah. So prone is like, does it take half my movement speed to get up?
Yes. And it'll be half of your base movement speed, not any additional you have. So like, I'm not going to make it to where if you have 70 because of Zuka's coffee jolt, that you have to use 35 movement speed to get up. It'll be, should be,
20,
your base is 40. So yeah, you'll have to use 20 movement speed to stand up.
That was some low damage that I
got. Anything else from Inryu?
Is there anything you can do while I'm prone?
Me,
like, since I do have, I use like, let's see, I have 70 movement speed and I use 45 to get over there. Could I use the remainder of my movement speed to get up?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that and then I will end my turn.
Okay. Lacan.
I'm gonna get right here.
All right.
I'm going to use my free object interaction to whip the sword into whip form.
Okay.
And I will. No, I'm using the buckler, so I can still have the buckler.
Yeah.
But I do receive a -1 penalty to my attack rolls, which I already put in my.
Okay, cool.
So I will. Now I'm going to swing to entangle, so I'm going to have the damage turn off. No. So if I'm successful, I'm going to entangle him.
Okay, that does hit.
All
is
right.
Is it you entangle by just hitting him, or does he have to do the strength?
For entangle, it just hits if I successfully attack. Like my sword is wrapped around him now.
Okay,
so
cool.
No damage happened. But with the chain sword, since I'm a master in it, I can still attack with the sword to him or any target within 5 feet of him. So I'm going to go for another attack.
Alright, and that'll hit. For 10. Alright.
That'll be my turn.
Okay. Alright, so at the end of, as you come up and do all of that, once he gets chained up, he swings his great sword at you, because it does have reach. And he does hit you for 7 slashing, but that's before the reduction, so it should be 4. Cyrene?
I'm gonna zap him again.
Okay. Let's see here. So he fails that save as well. And gets zapped. And same sort of thing, like now you're starting to see like he's starting to blister where the lightning enters his body. And it's like smoldered from the radiant heat coming from the lightning bolt itself. And as the lightning leaves, it leaves like a little bit of a sizzling burnt hair smell that Lacan gets to enjoy.
Sweet. And then I end my turn.
Okay. Let's see. Alright, so 3 coming across. And he's going to, let's see, what is your weapon DC? Should 15. Be, I believe, 15?
No,
okay.
It takes an action if he wants to break free from this.
Yeah. And he's going to use that action to get your sword off of him. He did roll high enough. And with that, he walks over here. Right behind Ryu a little bit. And he'll end his turn. This Gnoll is going to walk right up there. And he's going to attack Ryu. He only gets to do 1 attack because of his slow. And it does miss. Or wait, he's got advantage because of the flank. It does hit. So Ryu, you are raged, so you only take 2 piercing damage as he bites you. But you do take 9 damage of poison type. So 11 total, which I just calculated for you. The other Gnoll starts walking towards Lacan. And that'll end their turn. With the charge being in full force, you see the guards as they're running up with their pikes. And you guys all of a sudden start hearing the snapping of twigs from all of the branches around the forest around you. And you see these swinging logs come in with spikes on them as they impale various amounts of these guards, killing them instantly as they walk through this forest en route. You can hear cacophony of laughter from these gnolls as they start cracking up at how these guards are just running in and getting killed from their traps that they have set in preparation for this battle. Probably about 100 soldiers total just died. Oop. Don't know why a commoner popped out, but he did. Zuka is going to take aim at this here Gnoll that's walking up on Lacan. He's going to shoot him with the longbow. He unfortunately misses. And he's going to try to get a better vantage point by walking over here. Alfric.
Okay. I'm going to cast Toll of the Dead on the Death Knight.
Alright. Alright, let's see. Wisdom save, he fails.
And then I'm going to walk 30 feet back.
Okay.
There.
Okay, so you watch Alfric cast his spell, and then all of a sudden the Death Knight shakes his head. He takes one hand and sort of tries to cover his ears, but it's just not working. So he lets out a little Gnoll whimper, but a deep one. Mirrodin.
Mirrodin is going to use his action to untangle himself from his own clothing.
Okay.
And then walk 30 feet away from Alfric.
Okay.
That'll be all.
In Ryu?
Okay, real quick, I do have a question, Brady.
Yeah.
It says while I'm raging that that I deal like an additional lightning damage to my charisma modifier, which is +1. Like, do I just would I on all my attacks? Like, would I just add like +?
I'll add them later on, but for right now, anytime you do damage, I believe it's, let's see, melee. Any melee damage you do will add another 1 lightning damage.
Okay,
while
that's
you're raged.
my question. And it says now that while I'm raging, like it's lightning damage now. So it's the same. It just stays the same as 2, but it's lightning damage. But that was just it.
Yeah. Okay.
Also on Thunderclap, are you going to deem that as a action or a bonus action?
I'm gonna deem it as what it says. 1 action to cast.
Okay, I didn't see that on the spell, so that's what I was asking. Okay, so I'm gonna
on the D&D Beyond website. If you scroll over Thunderclap, it says casting time 1 action.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to use my action to attack the Death Knight right here that's in front of me.
Okay.
Which I don't know why I minimized my sheet. Let me use my Great Axe since he's right there.
That will miss.
And then I'm going to use my Great Axe again.
That one will hit. And it'll be a total of 17 damage. Lightning style. You guys watching Ryu, he goes in for kind of a side swipe and it misses, so he swings it back around, and obviously he's more of a left-handed batter, as this one nails the Death Knight straight in the back, and you watch this sort of lightning sort of streak out of where the new gap in his plate mail armor is. And as in Ryu pulls back the axe, you see this black blood dripping from his axe. The Death Knight definitely does not look too good right now.
All right, perfect. If I fly in the air, will that trigger a reaction?
You'll have to find out.
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and do it. I'm going to fly 30 feet straight up in the air.
Okay. The Death Knight will take his opportunity attack to attack you with his greatsword. He does hit with the reduction 11 damage, slashing style.
Right.
The other one does not get a reaction because he is slowed.
So I would have did 22 if I wasn't raised. Oh my god.
I would have done 14.
It would have done 14?
Yeah, because the subtraction is 3. Or wait, my bad, you're resistant. I did that wrong. I apologize. You take 7, not 11. I do apologize. Let me add, what is it, 4?
Mm-hmm.
4 HP? Yeah.
Okay.
All right, and then you fly 30 feet in the air, so now you're considerably far away from these creatures that are wielding melee weapons. Lacan, your turn.
I'm going to approach him, and as I approach him, I'm going to whip it back into sword form. I'm going to go for some straight stabs on him.
Alright. That'll hit. 9. That'll miss.
I'm going to action surge.
Alright. That'll hit. How do you want to do this?
Straight through the heart. I want to confirm his death.
Okay. So, as in Ryu heads up, the Death Knight turns around, slashes him, and then you come up behind and you slash his back. He turns to face you. Oh, neat. Thank you, babe. Yeah. Ooh.
Shitting
Wow. So you slash across his back, and he sort of whimpers, and then you can see this sort of like foam at the mouth as he's getting like super angry, and you stab him right in the heart, and then everything feels as if it stops. You watch as your blade is stuck straight through the front side of his plate armor and out the back, and his eyes go pure white. And as he leans forward, with the final breath, he grabs you by the shoulders. I just said one necessary sacrifice. Did not expect it to be me. As he says that, your blade is pushed out of his heart as he starts to float. The fire from the bonfire starts to whirl and turn black. The gnolls start to cheer and laugh as more of these knights that are coming on the battlefield continue to die from the traps that they've set. All of a sudden, about probably 2 inches away from his chest, you see a black light emerge, and then it gets a little bit bigger.
Do we have time to like back off?
Oh yeah, if you want to move, you can.
Yeah.
As this black light starts to shine,
I'm getting out of there.
you see this huge arm bust out of this Death Knight's chest. You see the bones exposed. You see all the gore and entrails sort of like wrapped around the fingers of this really large arm. And then you watch as another one burst out, and it starts to open and tear this chest apart. The Gnoll Death Knight screaming in immense pain. After a moment, a head pops out, really huge. It's like probably 5 feet long. And as it starts to get itself out, this creature shouldn't be able to fit through such a small dimension, but it does somehow. And in front of you is this really hideous, grotesque looking 14-foot tall gnoll. As he steps out of the Death Knight's corpse, it falls over, and he looks towards all of you with this hatred in his eyes. He then goes and reaches for the gnoll right behind him, grabs him by the head, and yanks out his whole spine. He grabs the Death Knight, does the same thing, walks over to the other one, grabs his head, and yanks it out of his body. He twists the spine in such a form that he's got a flail, and he starts to whip it around, and he looks towards all of you.
So, you're the reasons this took so long. I'm gonna have fun with this.
Oh, shit.
Cyrene, your turn.
Sweet. Alright, this is great. Alright, I guess I will strike him with lightning.
Alright.
You're still activated.
Thank you. And Ryu, just so you're aware, you are still hovering above this gnoll right now.
Oh wait, was I not able to move back with my piece?
No, it wasn't your turn. He was able to move because he still had movement left on his turn.
Misunderstood. Okay.
Yeah, you're good. Let's see. Dexterity save, he makes it, so he only takes 12 lightning damage. Anything else for Cyrene?
Yeah, I'm gonna back up. And I'm done.
Okay. Zuka is going to attempt his Frost Barrage. He hits one of them. He then retreats a little bit, seeing this big-ass creature, and not really liking it. And with that, it is this creature's turn. So you're only 30 feet in the air, which does put you inside of his reach in Ryu. And he looks up. Ah!
A fly!
He does hit. With your reduction, it only deals 10 damage. And I need you to make a wisdom saving throw. Roll a D100. Oh shit, it's not looping. Okay, so add this flaw. Actually, I'm going to add, there's a new flaw to your character for roleplay purposes and other things. If you don't do it yourself, I will make you do it. And I'm going to add it to your character sheet. Do not tell anyone else what it is. But other than that, let me see. Here we go. Just got to get the formatting, sorry. All right, cool.
Oh my god.
With that, he looks at you. Ah, a little more resourceful. And he swings again. Hitting you for a total of 8 damage. And then he begins to walk this way. And he will end his turn. Actually, how much movement? Oh, he's got 20 more movement. And he gets right in front of Lacan. And he looks down at Lacan.
You're the one that's caused all of this.
With that, Alfric, your turn. Also, Alfric, you are muted.
Okay, let's see. I am going to cast Slow on this big thing.
Alright. He does make his save, so don't you just take the spell slot.
Okay. I will scurry away 30 feet.
Okay.
And I end my turn.
Alright. At the end of your turn, he's going to use a legendary action to make a flail attack against Lacan. Which does hit. With the -3, it does 13 damage to you, and I need to make a strength saving throw.
Let's see. I want to use my reaction to deflect. It'll just add a 1d8 to my.
To the AC.
No, to the damage. So.
Okay.
Minus.
Okay, so
what was the
10
initial
damage. Initial was 16 minus 3 for your heavy armor, minus another 3, so 10 total.
And then you said strength saving?
Yes, please. Okay. You're able to hold your ground, but just barely, as he smacks you with the heads of these 3 gnolls that you were just previously in combat with. And as he does that, he kind of looks at them, and then he kind of chuckles a little bit.
Ha! They were too weak, even in death.
That's the legendary action, so now it is Mirrodin's turn.
Alright, we're gonna move right here. I'm gonna fire off a couple of Eldritch Blasts.
Neither of those hit.
Alright. That's it.
Okay. And Ryu, your turn.
Okay, I'm going to make a dash and get right. Oh, hold on. And get right there by Zuka. And I'm on the floor now, and I'm going to end my turn.
Okay. Lacan, your turn. And real quick, for clarification for the future, is your heavy armor, it does, if it's magical attacks, it doesn't reduce the damage, correct? I don't believe it does.
I'm pretty sure, yes, it is regular bludgeoning.
Okay.
Should be.
Okay. In that case, you would have taken an extra 3, but it's okay
yeah,
since I messed it up.
From non-magical sources, yeah.
Okay.
That's fine, I'm at 32. I didn't know their dead bones were magical. No, but, Now, since he's, 14 feet tall, is he huge?
Oh, yeah.
Is that his classification?
Yeah, so if you look at the squares, a large creature will take up 4 squares, huge will take up 9 squares,
9,
and gargantuan will be,
gargantuan.
16 or more, yeah.
Alright, makes sense.
But he is of the huge classification.
Oh, damn. Well, I'm gonna swing a couple times at him. I'll use my bonus action to second. Well, actually, I'll second one first. My bonus.
Oh, nice heal, dude.
And then I will swing a couple times.
Miss.
19? Oh, no.
20 will hit. And as you whip across his flesh, you do notice that he's wearing like... Okay. So you notice that he does have patches of what looks to be ripped leather and like plate armor like scattered around his body. And you go in and you try to hit his hide. And as you start to cut through it, or at least what you would hope to, doesn't seem to be as effective as it should be, and he kind of cackles in your face.
Weak. Pure mortal, you're so weak.
Alright.
So, with my, I guess, like a free verbal action, I'm gonna... Now, how far apart were those guys that were, like all those archers and stuff that were around us before we began this battle?
They were pretty much like shoulder to shoulder all around the village. If you're meaning like how far were they from you, they gave you guys a wide berth.
Well, if I were to yell, would I be within yelling distance of them?
Yeah, they are a little bit. They're yelling distance. It'll make it easier.
I'll basically yell like archers, barrage this one.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess that'll end my turn.
Okay.
Alright,
Cyrene.
Here. And I will call lightning again.
All right.
Yep.
He makes his save, so he only takes half. Anything else?
Nope, I end my turn.
Okay. So the lightning, it seems to strike through his body, but you're noticing there's not as much of a reaction as the Death Knight. Obviously, this creature is probably used to such pain that it doesn't even really faze him, although you're not quite sure what this thing even is. Zuka is going to move this way into line of sight, or better line of sight, I should say. Let's see, he's done that twice. Yeah, he'll do another Frost Barrage. Hit, hit, miss, miss. So 15 damage total as he lets off this barrage of frost arrows. Some of them are able to penetrate through the skin, but this creature is able to kind of just flick the arrow shaft and dislodge the arrows, while the other ones fly and hit various parts of his armor and just shatter. And he gives out a low cackle. On his turn, he's going to move past Lacan. So if you want to use your reaction, you can.
Yeah, may as well.
Okay. That'll hit. And again, it just doesn't seem like it's as, like, you're not able to draw any blood.
Move. Like, damn.
Once he gets there, No, you're good. He starts to swing his flail around in a circle, and then...
You mortals will know death. Maybe not today. I wish to have fun with you. Now how about you run? Make this entertaining for me and my pets.
I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw.
It's been nice knowing you.
Where's Zuka's? Everyone failed. So you all are under the effects of fear. While you are under fear, you are frightened for the duration of the spell. Or, well, this effect anyway. It works like fear, but it's activated differently. And while you're frightened, you have to take the dash action and move away via the safest route from this creature. And with that, we'll start with Alfric.
Run!
I feel as if
Run!
safest route is that way.
I think it means directly away from him, usually.
Or is it... Because I can't... Like, can I go farther this way or not?
Yeah. Like, even though the map doesn't extend that far, you can obviously go that far. We'll just have to kind of, like...
Yeah.
Theater of mind a little bit of this part.
I am another 20 feet away from this point.
Okay.
And I am returned.
Yep. Mirrodin?
Alright, I guess I'm running 60 feet through the forest.
Okay, and as each of you are running, you kind of look back and he takes note of the directions you're going. And Ryu?
Oof. So I'm taking the dash action, so I guess I'll go this way. And then I'm going to fly 50 feet in the air.
Okay.
Wait, can I fly that high? Hold on, let me make sure I can. Yeah, hold on, let me make sure I can fly that high.
Yeah, because taking the dash action, you have 80 feet, and then the jolt coffee gives you up to 110.
Okay, so I took 55 to get over here. And yeah, okay, so 50 feet in the air then. We're right there.
Yeah. Okay. Lacan?
And then I want to be like, and then at the end, like, kind of just to talk, I'm like, Zuka, heal me, please. And then I end my turn.
Yeah, I'm just 120 feet off in that direction.
Okay. Well, so the Jolt coffee doesn't get added in your bonus for dash, so you should have only 90 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. Cyrene?
I head off in this direction too.
Okay. Zuka will run this way. And on his this creature's turn.
Now, my pets, go and hunt your quarry.
And with that, he dashes this way, almost as if he's not even chasing you guys, as if he's chasing the soldiers. And then you watch the big groups. They drop their torches, for the ones of you that can see. They drop their torches on these common folk as they all light up in fire, and they start to run. These ones are going to chase Lacan. These ones going to start chasing Mirrodin. Alfric, your turn.
So I can move now, right?
Yeah. Well,
okay.
You're still within sight of him, so you have to dash away from him.
So I'm still feared, so you said. Okay.
Correct.
Okay. Then I dash, so now I'm going to be 80 feet away from him. Off the screen.
Yeah.
And now my turn.
Real quick, I think I meant to do this instead. He says that, go face your quarry, and then you guys see him, instead of him running towards the other people, he casts another spell and disappears. So, at the end of your turn, Alfric, make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. What?
Alright, you're still frightened.
Oh wait, so am I supposed to
now
on wisdom, like the skill, or the wisdom saving throws? Is it different?
Wisdom save.
So,
you did it right.
Okay.
Alright, Mirrodin?
Alright, 60 feet off in this direction. Wisdom save?
Correct. You are no longer feared.
Yay!
And you start to you start to regain your footing, and you're kind of like, okay, he's gone, but my friends, they need me. Well, my compatriots, I guess. You haven't had a lot of time with them to be friends. Maybe, I don't know how trusting he is. Alright, and Ryu, you're still scared. So you'll do the dash action and fly away, and then do a wisdom save for me, since you're off screen already.
Can I fly in the same direction as Zuka?
Sure. Because at this point now, you're still feared, but you don't know what you're fearful of. Well, you know what you're fearful of, you just don't know where it is. So now you can essentially go any direction you want. Same thing with you, Mirrodin, if you want to run back towards your party from that last one.
Alright, and I'm also back on the ground.
Okay. Same thing with Alfric as well. My apologies.
It's all good.
You're still feared. Lacan, you can run any way you wish now that you don't see that hulking creature.
Alright. So I'm gonna basically put myself back on map, but 40 feet left in this direction.
Okay. Go ahead, wisdom save. You're still frightened. Cyrene.
Cool. Damn it.
You're still frightened.
I'll run this way.
Okay. Zuka will... he has to run in a straight line. So he runs away from you and Ryu because he has to. And he uses his dash action to do it. And he is still scared. And then those gnolls are still running. What's their movement speed again? That's what I thought. One group is running up on Lacan, and the other group is running up on Mirrodin. And they end their turn. Alright, Alfric.
So I can't see him no more, correct?
Correct, yeah. So you can run any direction you want. You still have to make the save.
Okay. I'm gonna take the dash action and run 60 feet back. I'm still 20 feet off screen.
Okay.
And I'm gonna wisdom saving throw. And I fail.
Still scared.
I'm scared. And my turn.
Mirrodin, being a brave boy, you can do whatever you like.
Alright. Am I in, like, line of sight of the giant pack of moles?
Oh, yeah.
Like, okay, I see them. I see Cyrene. Or rather, I see this random merfolk that I've been paired with. Alright. I am going to run up to Cyrene. And cast invisibility on both of us and continue running the rest of my movement, I guess, to the east.
Okay. Easy enough. So, Cyrene, you see Mirrodin running towards you. He reaches out and touches your shoulder, and all of a sudden he disappears. And then you look at your arms and you notice you disappeared too, but you're still frightened.
Okay.
But hopefully it gives you a little bit of an advantage against the pack of gnolls that you see is running towards you. With that, and Ryu.
Okay, I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna dash in the same direction that Zuka went.
Okay.
And that'll be it. Oh, let me wisdom save.
Yes, please.
And that'll be it.
You are no longer frightened.
Yee.
Yeah, crunching on some ice. Lacan?
90 feet this way.
Run, Forrest, run! Still scared. Cyrene?
I hope I actually get unfrightened this time.
Nope.
Damn it.
So you keep running.
Bad luck. So I'm gonna keep running.
Okay. Never forget, or whatever they say.
Never give up, never surrender.
Yeah. Zuka's still frightened, and essentially you've got one gaggle of your party that's running one way, and the other part that is invisible and running another way, and then Alfric is on his own running. The gnolls notice that you guys are quite a bit faster than they are. The other gnolls notice that they can't even see their quarry anymore. So they turn and they start going for the guards and start enclosing around them. And It's kind of an even-sided battle. Those traps that were set off in the forest definitely whittled down their numbers quite a bit to make it, instead of it being one-sided in the guards' favor, it's now easier. And with their morale already lowered, and with the fact that these gnolls had a lot of preparations, you're watching this, and it's honestly a slaughter. There's dead gnolls everywhere, but there's even, for every one gnoll that's dead, there's at least 2 or 3 guards that are dead. You guys continue to run. I'll say you run for probably another 30 seconds before everyone collectively makes their wisdom save, and you're not being pursued. So you guys have ran safely away from the battle, and you end up noticing that you're kind of spread out. So with the group of Lacan, Zuka, and Enryu, what do you guys do?
I guess we should go search for everybody else.
Rethink my life.
Right, I got wrecked by that thing.
Okay. So you guys are
Brady.
looking
If
for the
we're
rest of
feeling
your party.
safe- Yeah. If we're feeling safe, I'm gonna try to, scout. for
Brady,
them.
I don't want to fuck up your narrative or anything, but
But you gotta go.
no, I was I was actually planning on at the next turn turning around and starting to hit these gnolls from behind.
Oh, go for it.
You know, keeping as much distance as possible.
Now, yeah, because you didn't cast greater invisibility, right?
That is correct. I am no longer invisible.
Okay. So in
But
that case,
I mean, Cyrene is still invisible because
Yeah.
it only ends on the.
Yeah, it ends when you do a thing, yet you're still concentrating on it, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and roll your attacks for that group of Gnoll boys. We'll just have a
Just tell me how many turns I get of attacking
them. Well, if you're continuing to run and you're not dashing, they're going to dash to you to get to you while you're attacking.
Okay.
So you would get, from the distance you're currently at, you would get 2 turns before they're on you of your Eldritch Blast.
All right,
you would
so
do that
that's
first
turn
one, and they would turn and start running towards you.
I am also, keep in mind, I would have also been, because of the previous right, 40 feet off map as well.
Yeah.
As being the 30 feet over there.
Yeah.
And then I will, during this turn, I'll use my bonus action to teleport 30 feet away, 30 extra feet away.
Okay. In that case, it'll take 1 more turn for them to get on you.
Well, I mean, we could all be making a wisdom check during this point.
You're probably not
yes.
even close enough to see this.
Yeah, you guys are way far away, and there's like enough tree coverage to where you would see a gaggle of gnolls more than likely, but you wouldn't know that Mirrodin's over there. Well, you would know he's over in that location, but you definitely wouldn't probably be able to see him.
Right, but I mean, I'd still be at least making my way to investigate, after the fear wears off, whenever it happens.
Yeah.
But are we gonna...
real quick then, Lacan, roll 2 wisdom saves for the 2 turns of him attacking. Yeah, you're still running far, far away. So 1 more wisdom save for Lacan, and then 1 more set of attacks from the pack of gnolls before they get on you. Still running.
So, next turn, they're close enough so that next turn I'll be attacked, right?
Yep.
Okay, so it's at this point I will start taking dash actions to run away.
Okay.
I ain't trying to
Your
die
speed
or
is-
anything.
Yeah, your speed is 30, right?
Yes.
Okay. So you start running away. They start running towards you.
And I'll yell at any nearby archers to start shooting if they can.
So the archers are already way past you towards the village getting killed.
Oh, word. Okay.
Yeah. Your army, the army
We're
you
just gonna
went
keep
with is, yeah. And eventually you end up running and then they turn around and start heading back towards the group. But you see as you're running away, you're looking over, they're running, and as they're like moving through the trees, you can see a couple of them are kind of standing there hiding behind total cover, taking a look to see if you follow and waiting for you to come.
Now when they turn around to head off, they're still like in range of me attacking, right?
Well, they would, so because they go after you, you would run 60 feet, they would dash 60 feet away. So on your next turn, you would be able to get 2 Eldritch Blast off, because what's the range? 120?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they're not
so you
like
can get 2
directly
more.
on me. So they're like, it sounds like they're just out of range.
Yeah,
this
they're
point.
they would have enough movement to get to you and attack if you weren't doing the same thing that they're doing. So they've gone the opposite way.
So now they're like roughly 90 feet away from me.
Yes.
Okay, I will go ahead and fire off a couple more Eldritch Blasts while also retreating 30 more feet.
Okay. Go ahead and fire. Alright, so you see that first one does end up hitting one and knocking it down, and then they continue to dash off. So if you went another 30 feet and then they take their turn to dash, now you're outside of the range, and you would have to dash to catch up, and it would just be, you know, a never-ending cycle until someone doesn't dash anymore.
Alright.
Now are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. So eventually, all of you stop being feared and such. Cyrene, your invisibility would wear off after a minute, right?
I'm not sure.
Fam, it is an hour.
An hour? Okay, never mind. Cyrene is invisible for a whole hour, unless
Yay.
I'm a concentrate on it. I
Mirrodin.
don't want her dead.
Yeah. So, everyone roll me a perception check real quick, and we'll use that to determine how fast it is for you to find each other.
God, what is happening today?
Okay, so
What the fuck?
let's see. So Zuka, Lacan, and Enryu are with each other, and they start walking in the direction of Alfred. Well, they probably start, you know, doing a light jog or something like that, and they end up seeing Alfric running away, and then he stops and starts looking around to survey his surroundings. So they catch up with him. They know the direction of Mirrodin, and Mirrodin. Let's see, what did you roll?
13.
A 13. So yeah, you end up seeing them, and you're able to wave them down as you start to come out of the woods. And then Cyrene, you know the direction they went, but you're so far off in your own direction that you went that it takes you just a little extra So it takes you probably about another 5 minutes to catch up to the group. But after a full 5 to 10 minute of you guys reconvening, the Gnolls you can definitely see are not interested in you guys anymore. They are interested only in the guards that you guys came to fight with. So you guys reconvene at a location a little ways from the village. So if you want to speak to each other, you can.
Well, this has certainly got out of hand.
What the fuck was that?
Ah, who is that? Wait. I drop invisibility on her.
So we killed the Death Knight and nothing emerged. What? I have no idea what's happening. Everyone's getting slaughtered.
Me neither. But we should probably go help out the
Survivors?
guards.
Yeah. We should meet up with them as soon as possible.
I think this has gone beyond the scope of what the guild was thinking.
True.
That had to have been Yanagu, the beast of butchery that Death Knight kept talking about.
Maybe it's Avatar. Yeah.
Not to mention, it said it was disappointed in them taking so long, which further implies that is the being they were trying to bring into the world.
Well,
That thing, I could barely even scratch it.
I wasn't even that close. Your weapons didn't have much effect?
No,
Okay.
looked like I was tickling him.
The only thing I remember is having this deep fear and having to run away.
As much as I want to help those guards, I don't think there's anything we can do with him around there.
Not unless we want to die.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to report this to the guild immediately. Like this is like a top of the
A
chain.
cataclysmic level event.
Basically,
Like that.
this is like the top needs to know about this right away.
Well, let's see if there's any survivors on the outskirts, and let's try to get out of here. It's not-
Yeah.
Roll
familiars we could do
perception.
Wah.
There it is. So you do see a couple of folks crawling out of the woods. You also see a couple that are running, and all of a sudden, like an arrow sticks them in the back of the neck, and they fall over dead. But the people that you do see as you're looking through the woods and stuff, there are some that are curled up behind like some of the trees, and they're kind of swaying back and forth, like screaming to themselves, tears running down their face. Every now and then you see a group of like a pack of gnolls come up and just stab them furiously, some of them pinning them to the trees. And this is like a couple 100 feet off from where you guys reconvene, so you can see that they aren't lighting the location, like the forest, on fire or anything, but they definitely lit everything within the village on fire, and it's just this large plume of smoke. And it's almost as if there's some sort of like tribal ritual that they're all starting to do as they throw bodies into the fires, as they start dancing and laughing. You watch as they start to feast on some of the corpses that they bring over, especially any of them that are more plump than others. And then in the middle of the town, you see that large gnoll as he's just surveying all of this. He ends up looking over and sees you guys, and you see him smile, and all his crooked teeth looking at you. And then the gnolls, as they're feasting, they stop and they look towards you as well. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Okay.
That's fucked up.
Run. Run.
Yes,
Run.
please.
This game. I guess I should start thinking of new character ideas.
I'm out of here.
I'm out. Peace. Going back to the ocean.
Well, Dad, I'm coming home.
Okay. Let me stop my stream real quick and I'll be right back. Alright, appreciate everyone coming out. Hopefully you had a good old time. Yes, this should be fun. The creature is named Yanagu. He is a demon lord from the abyss. The gnolls kind of take shape from him as he's been able to come to the material plane to incite his hunts and stuff like that. So it's pretty fun. I think it's going to be a fun bad guy, but honestly for this campaign I don't have one big bad guy. I've got many. But we'll see what happens, you know. This is kind of just to start things off because everybody has been wanting something like some big bad evil guy to work up towards. But I've kind of liked the idea of, and if anyone's watching this, sorry, but this is a spoiler, possibly, but I like the idea of giving you one thing as more of a distraction. So there could be something else. Well, there's always something else going on. But this right now is probably going to be their main big bad evil guy for now. But until next time, peace!